Event will soon begin.
Awesome. Thank you. No, it's all good. I was just curious if you knew.
Area, here we go. Oops. I'll loop that. Graphics override. Design. Ready, intro. Okay. Down, fade up. Jimmy.
There are matchups that get the atmosphere flowing throughout all of sports, but none bigger than rivalry week. And boy, do we have one on our hands at Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. The oldest continuous matchup on the schedule for Roncalli. The Bishop Chatard Trojans coming to town in a potential sectional 22 preview matchup from Roncalli Stadium. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Friday night with us here on the Roncalli Media Network. This is Roncalli Royals football on RMN, presented by Gallagher's Pizza. And Dan, as a whole for Roncalli, this is a weird moment in the season because you have something that happens about as rare as the old sports solstice when we have NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL all happening on the same day. You had that last week in a weather delay that turns into a weather cancellation, so you're 1-0, even though you've played 2 games. That can be difficult for a program to navigate through, even though everybody makes the playoffs. When you have something like that throw a wrinkle into your schedule, it can mess with you. After talking with Coach Otley today, they're ready, they're focused, and they need to be tonight against the Bishop Chatard side that is as good as any in the state.
You're spot on, Jimmy, and I don't think they've got a better guy at the helm to deal with that type of situation than Sam Otley. He's going to keep the kids focused, and he's going to pull out as much juice from that first half of the Franklin Central game as he possibly can, because it was a positive first half for Roncalli. Outgained Franklin Central by 100 yards, obviously take the lead into half knowing you're getting the ball out of the half. So even though that game didn't get finished and you didn't technically get a win out of it, a lot of positives to pull from that, and hopefully that positive momentum will carry over into tonight.
A lot of electricity once again from Jaden Buchanan in that matchup against Franklin Central. The magician effect is on full display.
And that's one of my keys to the game tonight, Jimmy, is I think we found an identity. And it's an identity we haven't had, in my opinion, since about 2017 with Connor Gore and the dynamic QB play he had then. Jaden Buchanan can keep plays alive and can hit big 50, 60-yard touchdowns. We haven't seen that in a while. You know, the Luke Hansen plotted out 15-play drives, punch it in from 2 yards out for a touchdown. That's been the identity in the past. New identity this season, and they need to stick to that against Chatard.
It's going to be a fun one tonight, a raucous crowd at Bob Tully Field as the Royals get set to take on, for the 65th time in program history, the Bishop Chatard Trojans. A reminder, tonight's game is brought to you by Gallagher's, the only place you need to be before and after Roncalli events. A proud family-owned establishment. They offer a warm, welcoming atmosphere where you can enjoy mouth-watering pizza, fresh salads, irresistible wings, and a fantastic selection of ice-cold drinks. Whether you're gearing up for the big match or celebrating a victory, Gallagher's is the place to be. We'll see you tonight after the game. We're going to step aside. We come back, our pregame conversation with Royals head coach Sam Otley. It's Roncalli and Chatard, the 65th meeting all time, and it's right here on the Roncalli Media Network.
There's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Don't sweat the summer heat any longer.
Let Peterman handle it.
Right now is the best time to replace or upgrade, because when you install a qualifying heating and cooling system with Peterman, you get the AC for free.
This is a deal that can keep everyone cool.
And we'll install next day guaranteed, or we'll give you $500.
Don't wait. When summer ends, so does this deal.
Just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Gallagher's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Welcome back to the Roncalli Royals pregame show. Royals set to do battle against an old familiar foe, parochial rival, the Bishop Chatard Trojans, and potentially a sectional 22 preview, though in this particular instance at the friendly confines of Bob Tully Field. Joining us as he does each and every game day, Royals head coach Sam Otley. Coach, how are you doing on a Friday?
Good, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Always great to be back at Bob Tully Field. It'll be weird to some extent because the home opener was just last week, but officially it wasn't really the home opener because of all the weather. Let's start there. It's a unique element in the high school ranks because it doesn't matter of consequence in terms of making the postseason because everybody makes it. But from a coaching standpoint, how do you adjust with a rainout in a game that you guys looked really solid against a highly touted opponent in Franklin Central? How do you judge and gauge that, and how do you adjust when it's a rainout that in your hearts you maybe feel like you would have and could have won, but it gets listed as a no contest?
Sure. And we, talking about what we can learn from that game going forward, we treat Saturday, we learn from the film, find some opportunities, things that we did well, and those were on film, and things that we can continue to improve. I know, with it not being a full 4 quarters, I'm proud of the way our guys handled that and the way that they showed up the next week, ready to roll into Chatard week. So a little bit of adversity, some adjusting and some modifying needed over the weekend to get us to Monday and to start this week. But, again, proud of the effort of the guys on Friday and excited for the week that they've had this week and ready to roll against Chatard.
Sam, this is me speaking as both the voice of the Royals and as a fan. I'm not asking you to fully comment on this because part of it is not probably what a coach would view it as, but it's as a fan what I kind of view it as. The way the schedule is set up this year, you have rivals, but the level of competition each week is up a notch. Like you go Southport, and then you go Franklin Central, and then you go Chatard. Varying levels of pedigree in those matchups, but all rivals that, you ask anybody on the south side, they're like, oh man, the Southport game, oh, the Franklin Central game, and now Chatard's in town. How is this group gelled and flowed? I mean, you played in these games. How have they gelled and flowed with these kind of rival historic matchups back to back to back like this?
Sure, they've done a great job, and it's in the attitude that they have and how we prepare. We know that we've got a lot of talented opponents on our schedule, and our mindset has been since the start of the summer is we're going to control the things that we can control, and we're going to be a better football player. We're going to make that decision each day to be a better team, to get better at the things that we see on film, and preparation for who we play. So that that challenge of each week, it's another step up. It's another step up, and it's another round going forward. And we have to continue to make those decisions to go from, things that we do well, things that we do good, to doing them great. And that's going to be what it takes to, like you said, step up with the talent that we're going to play throughout the season and be able to continue to prepare so that we're ready for it. And when Friday rolls around, we find ourselves in advantageous positions.
This will be a question that I bring up to you again if the Royals wind up drawing Chatard in the sectional. But what is an early season matchup against an opponent you very well could face in the postseason? What does that present you in terms of both challenges and a way to kind of have a barometer game for where you stand, viewed yourself as one of the best, but among the best the sectional has to offer?
Sure. It's that perspective. It's 1 week at a time. The objective this week, win the game. So we prepared this week to beat the Chatard team that we're going to play week 3, and we're going to learn some things, no doubt. It's a different, it's a different challenge that we've had from Franklin Central, and taking some opportunities and taking some things we need to get better from that week and carrying into this game. The biggest thing that we as a team can do is play our best football and put that on film and identify things that we're good at, and we're going to continue to push. And then, again, make sure those things that keep showing up go away by the time that we reach sectionals. But, again, each week we need to continue to climb, and having teams on our schedule that will play in the playoffs, it adds a sense of urgency to that. We talk about, being the best football team that we can be. Well, we get a little bit of a preview like you mentioned, so our goal is going to be play our best football and identify, what we're going to take forward into the playoffs and build off of this game going forward so that the season can be as long as we know it should be.
Coach, I know that he is not a finished product by any means, and I also know that there are varying levels of this offense for ways that the Royals can beat opponents, but it has been a minute since I have had fellow Royals stop me or comment to me, man, that quarterback's fun to watch. And Jaden Buchanan, through a game and a half or 2 games, it's that extending the play ability, magician-like ability that is electric to watch. But it's one thing to be able to escape. It's another thing to actually make plays that pop out that matter, that extend drives. What have you seen from your starter in Jane Buchanan, and where are still areas where you hope he grows this year?
Sure. He met a tremendous amount of effort and just the desire to, like you said, when a play breaks down, to make a play. And that starts with, he does a great job, and he's going to continue to develop as a quarterback. But again, it starts with the dynamic he has with those receivers, and it's a savvy group, and it is fun to watch them. I mean, it's as a play caller, when you run something that you've got kids in there that are dynamic and they've got the ability to make plays, it's fun to watch. And it's going to be something that we continue to develop, especially within the passing game. But again, having the ability to move the quarterback and have receivers that are savvy on the perimeter, it's something that we're going to continue to use to our advantage and create explosive plays.
Tonight's opponent, the Bishop Chatard Trojans, they're riding a winning streak in their own right. This is a classic Roncalli rivalry game in every sense of the word. You've been a part of these. It's going to be rocking at Bob Tully Field. What are the keys to a Royals victory tonight against the Trojans?
It's going to be a continuous theme. Play three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. Play mistake-free football. Offense, control the line of scrimmage, and have a level of focus and confidence in our execution, and move the ball up and down the field. Defensively, fly the football. It's a physical football game, and the team that gets to the ball and tackles better is going to have the advantage. And I'm excited to see our guys do that. And then in special teams, lock in, do our jobs, and do what the team is out there to do, and maintain that field position advantage, and that's what it'll take to win. All three of those phases, playing Roncalli football the way it's supposed to be played, and we do that, we'll come away with the win.
You mentioned making tackles and making plays defensively. Where do you lean on? Who do you lean on defensively in a matchup like this?
All 11.
Right.
I wish I could say that there's a specific matchup that that we're going to lean on, but man, they've been doing a great job these first 2 weeks of playing team defense, unselfish team defense, getting lined up, knowing what needs to be done, doing your job, and the guy who gets put in the spot to make the tackle. And you don't know who that's going to be. They're sounding their responsibilities, and they trust one another, and it's fun to watch Roncalli defense play that way. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but man, when all 11 are doing what they need to do, that's what we're going to try to create tonight.
The last three matchups in this storied rivalry between Roncalli and Chatard have been decided by one possession. Likely another rock fight tonight. Coach, always appreciate the time. Best of luck out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jim.
That's Royals head coach Sam Otley. We'll be back with Dan's keys to the game after this. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium on the campus of Roncalli High School. The 65th meeting all-time between your Roncalli Royals and the Bishop Chatard Trojans with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. Both teams just a few moments away from taking the field. But before we get to that, we get to the opening coin toss. Let's get to my second favorite part of tonight's festivities. The first, of course, is an opportunity to go have another Gallagher's Pizza, the official sponsor of the Roncalli Media Network. But a close second, Dan Lauk's keys to the game.
I can't compete with G's, Jimmy. You know
it's tough.
that. But
It's tough.
I think offensively, I talked about it a minute ago, but playmaking is the identity of this team. And again, it's been a while since we've been able to say that. It's not 3 yards and a cloud of dust on power toss right and power toss left and mix in a scissors. This is an offensive, an offensive scheme that is really set up to let Jaden Buchanan be creative. And the receivers know that. The offensive line knows that. You can really tell the team's all on the same page. So, and then winning the battles within the war. I talked about this a little bit previously, Jimmy, but you have to be thinking about little segments of the game and winning those segments. So, for instance, you're backed up inside the red zone, and the goal there is to get 2 first downs and make it easier on your defense should you have to punt. So you get those 2 first downs, reset, another small game, right? So winning those small battles within the broader game is going to be important. And then defensively, Chatard's got a great quarterback in Jack Harrington. I'm sure we'll talk about him a lot tonight. Limit his rushing opportunities because he can run the ball well. Just make him be a passer, make him one-dimensional, and then solidify the run defense. Towards the end of the first half against Franklin Central, our run defense started to get a bit leaky, so let's shore that up a little bit and make sure we make Chatard earn it.
Those are Dan's keys to the game. As we roll right along, we will step aside one final time. We'll step out 1 minute. We'll come back. We'll have game time forecast for you. And the kick, the 65th meeting between the Royals and the Trojans on RMN.
There's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. Moments away from the opening kickoff ceremonies as the captains for both teams get set to meet at midfield. Currently at midfield is Dave Calabro of WTHR. For those that are involved in the high school sports scene in general, this is the farewell tour for Dave Calabro, a staple of coverage throughout high school athletics. If you are of a certain age, and that's very weird of me saying that as a soon-to-be 30-year-old, but here we are. If you're of a certain age, you recall Calabro around with the WTHR chopper throughout Operation Football. I talked to him before the game, Dan. I ran it by him for this farewell tour. They should have brought the chopper back for him, but apparently the budget was not there for it. So, but great to have him. He's going to be sorely missed, but good to have him here for the opening coin toss. Oh, he's flipping the coin, too. How about that? All right, so we'll do this live then. Chatard has won the toss. And no indication directly just yet. They'll shake hands first, but we'll see the official indicator of who is chosen to receive and who is chosen to kick things off or defer, and that's what happens there. So if Chatard defers, they'll get the ball to start the second half. Roncalli will start with the football, kind of a common trend to this point. Dan, as we await the start of this matchup and the opening kick, just some final thoughts on both sides, starting first with the Royals, how they can get things rolling early and continue to get their young quarterback in a comfort zone.
No team is ever comfortable coming into this game, Jimmy. It's a rivalry game for a reason. You mentioned it earlier. These teams have played each other more than any other opponent on their schedules. This throw record's out the window, even though both teams are undefeated right now. You know, you think back to last year, Roncalli, not the strongest year overall, but only lost by 7 at Chatard, right? That's a Chatard team that ended up going undefeated, winning the state championship. So throw everything out the window. These two teams have been playing each other since they were third graders at St. Barnabas, St. Jude, OLG, St. Simon, Christ the King, right? So these guys know each other. It's a beautiful night here at Roncalli Stadium, Bob Tully Field. Man, I can't wait to get this one going.
This will be a great one, no doubt about it. The 65th meeting all time between these two programs. The last 3 meetings decided by 1 possession. It has been as tight as it gets. As the Royals get set to return things, Colin Ash back deep to receive, along with Rudy Shutley. It'll be Pato Gallardo set to boot it deep. It's an end-over-ender. That's going to be bounced and taken by the up man at the 20, and that is where things will start for the Royals. For their opening drive, about the 21-yard line is where the Royals will set up shop. Well, it's been the Jaden Buchanan show to this point through that first game. Again, we throw the stats out for the Franklin Central game. 14 of 21, 288 yards, 4 touchdowns. The creativity was superb.
Yep, he's been super creative, Jimmy, and I'd love to see them come out of the gate here and throw the ball, right? You're going to have trouble establishing the run against this Chatard front. But I think those high percentage throws, get him on the sprint outs, get him on the rollouts where he's comfortable moving his feet. Would love to see him come out of the gate with that here.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Royals. They'll mark it at the 25 to start this drive. First drive of the ball game. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. It's Dozier in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, quick RPO, and it's broken up. A lot of contact early, but they'll say it's within 5 yards as the play's broken up by Chase Heim.
And Chatard's going to be aggressive. They run a 3-4 odd front defense, and on the back end, they'll typically play cover 4, cover 2 when they go zone. But their safeties have historically been really aggressive, and we saw it on display there. Roncalli comes out in a trip set. They try to hit the little 4-yard hitch. It's the right read for Jaden. Safety jumps it immediately. Was quick contact, though.
It was quick, but they say play on. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 10. Buchanan in the gun. Play action. Rolling right, quick throw, caught by Ash. He'll pick up 6, perhaps 8. Let's see where they mark this. No, he's going to pick up a full 10 on that play and move the chains. Nice design roll out there from Buchanan to Ash.
And the Trojans come with a 7-man pressure on 2nd and long there, but the offensive line did a good job holding their own on that towards the Chatard sideline, the boundary side, and Jaden Buchanan with a nice fake play action, able to get out there and flip it out to Colin Ash.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 35 on this opening drive. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Buchanan in the gun. High snap, little option pitch, nearly bobbled. Dozier has it now at the 37, all the way to about the 38-yard line. So the Royals, little option action there. Initially bobbled by Dozier, but he's able to secure it and pick up a gain of 5. Nice healthy gain there on 2nd down, or on 1st down, I beg your pardon.
This is underrated, Jimmy, but Jaden's ability to pitch the ball with both his left and right hand is a weapon, because that's their favorite play right there, that speed option, read the defensive end, but they can go both ways with it, which is kind of rare for a high school kid.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Once again, Buchanan in the gun on 2nd and 5. High snap, give us the Doge. No, he's going to keep it himself with Buchanan. Turns the corner, throws downfield. It's caught with an adjustment by Connor Kessler, walking down the sideline, and he's able to make that adjustment for a big gainer, moving the chains for the Royals into Chatard territory for the first time this evening.
Jimmy, do you remember NFL Street?
Oh, boy, do I ever, Dan.
Jaden Buchanan is literally playing NFL Street. I mean, he's just looked like he was going to take off and run with that, but he does such a good job with his eyes, keeping them downfield. Found his big target, 5 or 10, 15 yards down the field.
It's a gain of 27, 1st and 10 from the Chatard 34. 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Buchanan in the gun. Trojan show blitz, takes the snap, 3-step drop, rolling right. Looking downfield. He's going to go for it all. Has a man. Oh, he dropped it in the end zone. Drew Nelson wide open in the right-hand corner of the end zone. Hit him in the chest. And that's one the Royals wish they could have back.
And for those of you that aren't watching at home, that was as good as it gets. Dropped right in the bread basket on a deep corner route. Again, Jaden Buchanan working his magic, extending the play. Drew Nelson was too open, unfortunately, and that went right through his arms. But some positive momentum here from the Roncalli offense. I like this drive so far, and I like that 1st and 10 on the 35.
Take a shot.
Yeah, take a shot. I like it.
So Buchanan back in the shotgun once again. Henry Adams is the tailback to the right side. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. 2nd and 10 for the Chatard 34. Pressure comes. He rolls right. Throws over the middle. High throw to Shutley. He catches it and stumbles forward for the first down all the way to the 26-yard line of Chatard. Chains keep moving for the Royals on this opening drive.
We didn't have a Gallagher's player of the game last week, Jimmy, because the game didn't finish. Rudy Shutley would have been that player last week. He made so many big catches throughout the game, including a touchdown. He's become Jaden Buchanan's safety blanket over the middle.
It's a gain of 13, and the Royals just outside the red zone. Ball to Chatard 21. 10-20 to play first quarter, 1st and 10. 3 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. Pitch option again. This time it's Dozier. Outside trying to find the edge. Now cuts back inside, and he'll gain a yard or 2 perhaps. 2nd down and long.
So we're approaching a double-digit drive here as far as the play count goes. The Royals have yet to run the ball in the box, so they're continuing to flip the ball out into space to their running backs. That time it was Henry Adams. We've seen Zach Dozier as well. And the perimeter blocking, again, was solid. I think that's going to be the challenge tonight. Roncalli's been dominant so far on the perimeter with their receivers blocking. Chatard's going to be aggressive. So we'll want to see who wins that battle tonight.
2nd and 8 from the Chatard 19. It was a gain of 2. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Buchanan, option again. He'll keep it himself this time and is tackled forward for a gain of a couple. So it sets up 3rd and medium for the Royals as they've crept inside the red zone for the first time tonight.
And again, the 3rd time they've run that option play now, where again, the quarterback, Jaden Buchanan, is reading the defensive end. Chatard at the start of the game was really aggressive getting upfield. That time, again, aggressive attacking the running back. Jaden pulls it, picks up a few.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. On 3rd and 7, screen pass, left side. Caught by Kessler, makes a man miss, dives forward. He's going to be short of the sticks. And now decision time for the Royals. Again, you have reliability there in Gavin Luthane, but this is a rivalry matchup, and you know how high-powered this Chatard offense is. This might be a go-for-it situation, Dan.
I think it is, and I've said it a million times. You have to be able, if you want to win a state championship, you have to be able to score in the red zone, put 6 on the board. So we'll see if the Royals can do it here.
4th and 5 from the Chatard 16. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Buchanan in the gun. He'll roll right, looks, fires in the flat. It's caught by Adams. And to make that Dozier, I beg your pardon, depending on the spot, he might have it. Let's see. No, he did not get it. He is short by about a yard, and it's a turnover on downs to Bishop Chatard. It was the right play call in terms of the look they wanted, Dan, but Chatard closed too quickly. A little delay on Dozier getting upfield, and that's enough for a turnover on downs.
Yeah, it was a play-action rollout. Had the right read. I think Zach just slipped just a bit. Had he been able to keep his feet, I think he picks that up.
So turnover on downs, we get a first look at Jack Harrington and the Chatard offense. With 8:21 to play in this first quarter, 1st and 10 from their own 12. 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. The tailback is Daniel Shaw. In the gun is Harrington. Shouts out directions, now gets set. Takes the snap, handoff. Shaw, and he's met with authority, but a second effort prevents it from being a loss, and in fact is about a gain of 1 on the play. Brody Heidelberger there to shut things down right away.
Brody Heidelberger, so far this season, to me, has been the MVP of Roncalli's defense. He's made open field tackle after open field tackle, and especially with Casey Horton being out injured, he's really stepped up.
2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. 2nd and 8 from their own 14. We're scoreless. 7:50 to play in the first. Handoff. Shaw. No, it's a keeper by Harrington. The Royals weren't fooled. The ball comes out late, and let's wait for the indicator. Officials are going to confirm. I believe the Trojans got it back. The hero there was Andrew Troy, who was the Chatard man up with the football.
Yeah, and the typical read option, Harrington sticks the ball in the gut of the running back, decides to pull it, but it was really late. I think the running back wanted to hold on to that. It slips out.
Third and 4 from the 18 for the Trojans. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Harrington in the gun. Shaw to his right hip. He looks to the sidelines for instructions. 5 on the play clock. Now with 3, he's back in the gun. Takes the snap. 2-step drop. Looks left. Looks right. Scrambling around. He sees daylight. He's going to run and try to pick up this first down. A lot of fistful of jersey there on the backside. No flag comes out, and Harrington scampers easily for the first down, but the Royals have an argument there, Dan. Eli Lauk, that was borderline hold past the initial point of collision with the shoulder pads that it looked like a wraparound hold there.
It certainly was close. I think the Royals have to be careful. I talked about this pregame. Jack Harrington can run the ball. Okay, so Brody Heidelberger made a great first initial drop, took his first read away, but then tried to run to the wide side of the field. Harrington saw it, took off.
Gain of 15, and it's 1st and 10 from their own 33. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Once again, Shaw's the tailback for Harrington. In the shotgun, handoff, Shaw, and he goes nowhere. A gain of about a yard, perhaps 2 on the spot. They will give him 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
So far this season, Chatard's put up brilliant offensive numbers, but it's mostly been through the air. Having said that, this is a big Chatard offensive line, and so far Roncalli's defensive line is holding their own.
We will go in depth on this in a second, but tonight's Whitetail Properties, game time weather, 69 degrees and cloudy on the south side of Indianapolis. But after last week, you'll welcome that, given the rain out. Fall's knocking on the door. Will it stay permanently? This is another false fall. Who's to say? 2 wide receivers on either side for the Trojans. Once again in the gun is Harrington. Fakes the screen. Pump fakes. Trying to scramble around the edge. Keeps the play alive. Throws downfield. It's caught. He extends the play all the way to midfield. Reception made by Sully Kaur. And the Trojans, escapability is the name of the game there. Gives the Royals a little taste of their own medicine. Harrington dances around the pocket and extends enough to convert for a first down.
Really nice job pre-snap by the Royal defense to disguise their coverage. Caught Chatard off guard at the snap, but unfortunately, just like Jaden Buchanan, Harrington's been able to extend plays.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. In the gun on 1st and 10 from midfield of the Trojans. Scoreless, 5:20 to play. It's a keeper. Harrington up the middle for a minimal gain. And correction, it will not be a keeper. I apologize on that. It was a delayed give to Shaw. Either way, it's still a gain of just 2, 2nd and 8.
Little outside zone look from the Trojan offensive line. Again, the Roncalli defensive line is doing a great job so far controlling their gap on that outside zone. It's a wide step from the offensive line, and you could see the defensive lineman mirror that, and there was no place to go for the running back.
1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right for the Trojans on the far hash. They send a man in motion. Harrington keeps it himself, going deep downfield. It's dropped. A well-placed pass over the shoulder to Julio Graves. The Royals had solid coverage there. That's one where if that catch is made, and it was close, Dan, you just tip your cap. That was quite a throw.
Yeah, Eli Lauk was in phase the entire time. One thing he could do is get his head around at the end there, but he did a good job playing the hands and making sure the receiver didn't get a good, clean look there.
3rd and 8 from the Roncalli 48. 4:35 to play, 4:36 to play, I beg your pardon, this opening quarter. We're scoreless. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Harrington, 2-step drop, quick throw. Near the sticks, overthrew his intended target. And now decision time for the Trojans. The Royals played the analytical game and went for it. They did not convert. The Trojans will not do the same. They will send out the punting unit and try to play the field position game here.
Very odd play calling from Chatard. You figure at this point of the field, you've crossed the 50, it's 4-down territory. If you just run the ball and it's, 4th and 3, you're willing to go for that. But certainly at 4th and 8, you can't. Jimmy, we can't have a quarterback named Harrington playing for the Chatard Trojans. We just can't have it. We got to keep those those Roncalli families here, don't we?
We do indeed. That's a shanked punt initially, but the bounce at the 20 then takes a Trojans roll all the way inside the 10. So it turns into a very solid punt for Patrick Belby, and that'll bring the Royals out here momentarily. But again, 69 degrees, the game time temperature. That's brought to you by Whitetail Properties. Bill and Jay Miner are your go-to experts at Whitetail Properties for West Central and South Central Indiana's rural real estate. Whether you're dreaming of hunting land, farmland, a serene lake home, or a home nestled on acreage, these proud Roncalli alums have the knowledge and passion to make it happen. Give them a call today at 317-446-9500 or 317-370-2422. Explore their agent profiles as well at whitetailproperties.com. Turn your real estate dreams into reality with Bill and Jay Miner. 1st and 10 from the 8 for the Royals. We're scoreless in the first quarter. 4:19 to play in this opening frame. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Buchanan in the gun. Handoff. Dozier left side, cuts upfield, makes a man miss, still on his feet to the 20, and he has a gain of about 15. It's exactly what you want when you're backed up in your own end zone there, Dan.
Absolutely. We talked about the games within the game, and here you want to pick up 2 first downs. And again, getting back to the identity of this offense, it's explosiveness, and Zach Dozier's really the option in the backfield that can give you that.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 21. Buchanan went with a hard count, nearly got the Trojans to jump. Now he looks to the sideline. Over at Sam Otley, his first chapter written in this historic rivalry. Buchanan now has it with 5 on the play clock. Takes the snap, looks left, looks right, steps up in the pocket, fires downfield late. He sailed it, but it's not intercepted. It was up for the taking from Declan Hostetler, but it was just over his head, and that's one of those, Dan, where you appreciate the creativity still, but you'd almost rather him make a more decisive call to either tuck it and run or throw the football.
Well, yeah, he does such a good job keeping his eyes up. But in this situation, I mean, you see number 34 jump out there to play the flat. Just tuck that and run, pick up 3 or 4. 1st and 10, might as well pick up the yardage as you can.
2nd and 10 from the 21 of Roncalli. Bunch formation to the right, 1 to the left. Buchanan, handoff, Dozier, stonewalled.
And that's the first time we've seen the power running game from Roncalli tonight. They pull the guard and the tackle to kick out and load, and not much happening. Chatard historically has been really tough to run on with that 3-4 front. And what to watch for here, Jimmy, in the 3rd and long situations, Chatard loves to run junk. They love to run stunts. So you'll see defensive linemen looping. You'll see linebackers blitzing into gaps that they're not normally lined up over. So they got offensive line here for Roncalli has got to be wary of that and ready for it.
It's a gain of a yard. 3rd and 9 from their own 22. 3 minutes left in the first. They send a man in motion. Buchanan, screen, right side, caught by Dozier. He spins, he turns, he contorts his body, but he's short of the first down by about 4 yards, and the Royals will be forced to punt it away.
At this time, we'd like to invite our North and South
Not much you can do there offensively. It's 3rd and long. You're backed up almost to your own red zone. I like the play call there. Pick up what you can. And, again, it's a field position game. When you get the ball tucked that far back into your own territory, picking up a first down or 2 can really help your defense going forward. So let's get a good punt off here. Jimmy, I love hard counts in this situation, too. 4th and 4.
Luthane receives the snap, boots it away. A nice spiral of a punt. That's going to bounce the 20. Will it slow down? No, it will not. It'll get all the way in the end zone for a touchback. 2:07 to play first quarter. We'll take our first break. Royals, Trojans, scoreless. Bishop Chatard football. We come back.
Had your eye appointment this year? No? Well, it's time to make that appointment. Call Vision Quest Eye Care with location in Greenwood. Dr. Christopher Browning is a Greenwood native and Roncalli parent. Dr. Browning has years of experience and can make sure your Vision Quest Eye Care appointment leaves you seeing the world clearer. Call today, 317-386-7492. Yes, call Dr. Browning at Vision Quest Eye Care at 317-386-7492 or online at visionquesteyecare.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. While we were away, a run to the right side by Daniel Shaw of Bishop Chatard. Picks up a yard on the play. Sets up 2nd and 9 for the Trojans. Ball at their own 21-yard line with 1:45 to play in this first quarter. To my right is Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Happy Friday to you. Happy rivalry week to you here on RMN, presented by Gallagher's. 3 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. As Harrington is in the gun with Shaw to his right side. Handoff, Shaw, full head of steam, lowers the shoulder, spinning, turning, and picks up about 5, maybe 6. Sets up 3rd and manageable for the Trojans.
Yeah, a well-earned several yards there by the Trojans. But the Roncalli defensive line, again, doing a great job controlling their gap. And Brody Heidelberger from that linebacker spot. No, when you run a 4-man front and even front, you need your linebackers to be in the action every play. And he's been able to do that so far.
Be 3rd and 3 from their own 27.
And he does get the benefit of lining up behind big Nathan Turner, who's a wonderful 3 technique.
Trojans 1 for 2 on third down so far tonight. They send 2 men in motion. Under a minute to play first quarter, a wide receiver on either side, and a timeout's going to be taken by Roncalli. They did not like the alignment they had. We will take one as well. 55 seconds to play in this opening quarter. We're scoreless. Big third down upcoming on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. Big third down upcoming for Chatard. 3rd and 3 from their own 27-yard line. Trojans 1 for 2 on third down so far tonight.
The Trojans have yet to really average 3 yards per carry. The Roncalli defense has done a good job so far, so curious to see what the play call will be here, because it's certainly not 4-down territory where they're at.
Change of pace. Tailback is Daniel Adams to the right side of Harrington. A wide receiver on either side. Royals show pressure. Now Harrington looks to the sideline. 10 on the play clock. A little bit of a gust here at Bob Tully Field. Now they send 2 men in motion. Royals try to stay true. Take the snap. Handoff, right side with ease to the edge and more. To the 40, 45, 50. Big gainer from Daniel Adams brings the Trojans past midfield into Roncalli territory for the second time tonight. And correction, it'll be just short of that, just outside of Roncalli territory at the 48-yard line.
Royals did not look comfortable. They called the timeout after the tight end H-back trade. Pre-snap for the Trojans. They come out and do it again, this time from the left side to the right. Royals didn't really look comfortable adjusting to that, so that's something you're going to need to coach up in between possessions here on the bench.
One wide receiver on either side, ball far hash. 1st and 10 from the 48 with 48 seconds to play in the quarter. We're scoreless. Harrington, play action, rolls right, pump fakes, and shovels it late out of bounds. It'll be just an incomplete pass, 2nd down.
It's a smart play by Harrington. There was a receiver in the area. He was going to go down anyways. He just flipped it out of there, out of bounds. But again, Chatard is so well coached. They'll do little things like that, the double tight end trade. They'll come out with a blocking scheme that you haven't seen on film. They make you adjust on the fly as a defensive coach, and certainly we have the staff to be able to do that.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. 2nd and 10 from their own 48-yard line for the Trojans. Harrington in the gun, looks to the sidelines. The tailback is Jax Goodry, the sophomore. They'll give it to Jax. He'll cut upfield and gain about 4. Be 3rd and 6, I believe, upcoming. Perhaps 3rd and 7. We'll see where they spot this. And that will likely be the final play of the quarter unless the Trojans want to push the issue.
It's a good job by Robert Hauser there, the outside linebacker for the Royals, keeping his shoulders square, but folding in when the running back committed.
The Trojans don't look like a group that's ready to run a play.
They do have the wind at their back, but it's not going to matter at this point.
Let's see. They will run a play. Final play of the quarter. Harrington, pressure comes, pocket collapses. He rolls right, stops. There's a flag down for holding anyway, but the Royals will tackle him near the boundary after a gain of 3, and you would think based on field position, the Royals will decline that holding call and be ready to receive a punt to start the second quarter.
It's really an interesting call because this would bring up 4th and 5 on Roncalli's side of the 50. So you could see the Trojans going for this. So do you bump them back to 3rd and 14, or do you decline it and put the test to Rob Doyle and see if he's aggressive enough to go for it here? Really a tough call if you're Sam Otley.
I would generally think decline, and that's what the Royals will do. I like the idea, unless it's like a 4th and short, like a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2. I generally say decline and let them make that decision versus replaying the down itself, and that's what Otley does there. So that'll end the first quarter, and decision time for the Trojans. 1 quarter down, we're scoreless. 4th and 5, decision time for Chatard. We come back. Royals nothing, Chatard nothing. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. We're scoreless as we start the second quarter with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Fourth down decision for the Trojans, and it appears that they are going to punt it away and once again play the field position game, Dan.
Little underrated piece of declining that penalty is Chatard now has to punt into the wind. Not
Good
sure
point.
that was a thought on Coach Otley's mind, but either way, it helps. You accept the penalty and they get another play with the wind at their back.
The wind is blowing east, and a good amount of speed on that. Wind gusts up to 23 miles an hour is the outlook for the rest of the evening. Currently wind speeds 10 miles an hour. Blowing south, I beg your pardon. So it will be
It's fourth down.
Lucas Tremaine and Rudy Shutley back to receive this punt. Good snap. Punted end over ender, and Shutley touched it. Make it Tremaine touched it, I beg your pardon, but he's able to scoop it up immediately and be tackled at the 15. That's a dangerous game to play on a ricochet and on a bounce. Could have turned costly for the Royals, but instead, merely just a tough bounce and outlook of field position, Dan.
Yeah, the wind pushing the ball towards the Chatard sideline a little bit there. Winchester just wasn't sure if he could play it off the bounce or not. It took a bounce right at him. Luckily, he was able to corral it there.
Winchester, I beg your pardon.
And going back to Harrington, Jimmy, obviously very much joking. Great family. Cousin Sean Sinovic was a captain on the 2020 state championship team for Roncalli. Obviously, his dad and brothers, Roncalli legends. And Chatard's a great school. They've got a Roncalli alum at the principal, John Hasty.
Indeed, they do. Royals, first down, Buchanan, quarterback draw. He'll gain a couple.
And that one was designed all the way. I think they're going to tack on a face mask as well as Jaden was going to the ground. We'll see what the call is here.
I think you might be right, Dan.
Yeah, but that was a designed quarterback run. There was no option there for Jaden to pitch.
Had a little window dressing initially.
Yeah, and they pulled. It was just a typical Q power. And I can't stress, Jimmy, having been in the position of defensive coordinator.
Oh, they're picking up the flag.
Oh, okay.
That will not bring joy to the Roncalli faithful here.
Yeah. But having been a defensive coordinator before, when you're facing a running back that is as dynamic as Jaden and can run the ball, it's really tough to scheme against because you have to commit an extra hat to the box to stop the quarterback run. But when you do that, he'll pick you apart downfield.
Yep. So it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Royals from their own 21-yard line. Two wide receivers bunched to the right, one to the left. Now they send a man in motion. Handoff up the middle. Adams carrying tacklers. He'll pick up about 4 and set up 3rd and 2.
Good to see Henry Adams back in full gear. He was obviously out last week, and they missed him. They weren't able to establish the run up the middle, especially against Southport without Adams. So Adams and Dozier are going to be crucial to what this offense is able to do. Obviously, you love the electricity that Jaden Buchanan brings, but you need to be able to establish the running game with the offensive line and those two running backs.
One wide receiver to the right and one to the left on 3rd and 1 from the Roncalli 26. Buchanan in the gun. Takes the snap. Handoff. Adams falls forward right at the sticks, but the initial mark says first down Royals. They'll move those chains.
And that's a Roncalli football run right there. Chatard had 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, which they will do. Listen, Chatard's not scared. If it's 3rd and 1 in your own territory, they're going to dare the heck out of you to throw the ball. Roncalli says, well, look, we're physical too. We're going to go right at you. Henry Adams picks that up nicely.
2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right for the Royals on this 1st and 10 of the 28. Buchanan in the gun. Once again, it's Adams, the tailback. Takes the snap. Quick throw, right side, low pass. It's caught for a gain of about 7.
Really nice catch there by Kessler. I've been so impressed with Connor Kessler so far this year. He's a big body, a big target. You can tell he's a basketball player. And I know Coach Jamin Wernke is excited about him on the basketball court. He's got that body control that you see from those basketball players.
3 wide receivers to the left, I beg your pardon. 1 to the right on 2nd and 3 from the Roncalli 35. 9:50 to play in this first half. We're scoreless. Buchanan looks to the sidelines. Adams still the tailback there. Now they move Colin Ash down a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, and now he moves towards the slot. So 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 5 on the play clock. The Royals are going to have to burn their second time out of the half. And they will indeed. Coach Otley not happy. The Royals will regroup. We'll keep it right here, 9:36 to play in this first half. We are scoreless. Tonight's game is brought to you by Harding Poorman. Ready to supercharge your brand? Dive into the world of exceptional print and branding with Harding Poorman. They're your one-stop shop for all things print and design, delivering top-quality results that will make your project shine. Whether you're looking for eye-catching materials or game-changing branding solutions, Harding Poorman has got you covered. Don't wait. Make your brand unforgettable. Head over to hardingpoorman.com to get the scoop and request your quote today. That's hardingpoorman.com. Harding Poorman, where your brand success kicks off. Also brought to you by Indiana Members Credit Union. Get ready to support Roncalli with every swipe. IMCU proudly backs Roncalli and even offers an exclusive Roncalli debit card that helps give back to the school. Indiana Members Credit Union is all about keeping it simple while delivering top-notch products, friendly service, and the latest in technology. Don't miss out. Join the credit union that's as dedicated to the community as you are. Find out more and grab your Roncalli debit card at imcu.com. That's imcu.com. A huge thanks to IMCU for making a difference. 2nd and 3 from the Roncalli 35. Out of the Roncalli timeout. They're down to 1 left in the half. Buchanan looks right, looks left. Pressure coming. He steps up. He tucks it. He runs. He makes a man miss. He dives forward near the marker, and he's going to have that first down. A run of 3 for Jaden Buchanan is enough to move the chains.
Just what you were talking about earlier in the game, Jimmy. That time, Jaden made his choice, right? He had all 4 receivers covered downfield. He tucked the ball and ran, and I think it's a great decision at the spot in the field that you're on, in the down and distance, to have that sense of, okay, this is a time where I don't need to hit the big play. I just need to tuck it and pick up positive yardage.
1st and 10 from the Roncalli 39. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. A tailback right there next to Buchanan in the gun. Handoff. Dozier. Stutter step. Feeling around. Spinning. Turning. And gains 4.
You can see how good of a play caller Coach Sam Otley is. The Royals have done everything tonight. They've hit the deep ball a couple times. They've been able to hit the quick passing game as well, and they've run the ball both on the inside with the power game and also on the outside zone game as they did there. They know what they have in their athletes, and they're putting their athletes in the best position to succeed, and that's what a really good offensive play caller does at the high school level.
Be 2nd and 6 from the 43 for the Royals. Buchanan in the gun. Takes the snap, play action, rolling right, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. And a little look downwards after. Look, Dan, I know you and I sometimes disagree with this, that there is a fine line of some friendly trash talk, but generally speaking at this level, a direct look down like that is an automatic penalty.
Yeah, it was a very violent tackle. I think it was a clean tackle. But yeah, standing up over a player, eyes down on him, yeah, it should be a penalty, and you got to be careful who you're doing that to, because I know Jaden Buchanan's a competitor, and he'll burn you.
That's it's an interesting look, all things considered. As the dust clears, though, 3rd and 6 from the Roncalli 43. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Jaden takes the snap, 2-step drop, rolls right, throws in the flat. It's caught, but not enough near the sticks by Colin Ash. It's going to be a gain of about 3 and set up 4th and 3. And the Roncalli offense once again stalls. They'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, some tough again, you're not quite able to get the ball over the 50. This is a defensive battle so far, Jimmy. I don't think, we haven't seen a lot of penalties. We haven't seen bad execution on either side of the ball. It's just been really tough to pick up first downs for either side.
One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. Or correction, I beg your pardon. It is standing out there is Luthane, set to punt this away. Luthane, that's a line drive. It's going to need a Roncalli bounce on it, and it will take one. That's going to go all the way to the 5, and the Royals will let it roll down to the 1. Well, we're getting dangerous here, fellas. Very dangerous game. That's at the half-inch line. One might say the most dangerous of special team games, Dan, but they do let it roll and down it at about the half-yard line. That's impressive for Luthane and the special teams corps.
Luthane's done it both ways now. I mean, he had that booming 80 or so yard punt earlier in the game. This one's a line drive and rolls as close to that line as you could possibly get. It's like playing shuffleboard over at G's, right? You have that nice little toss that slides perfectly and then just dies right where you want it. That's exactly how that was.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from about the half-yard line for the Trojans. And this is where you want the Royals defense to turn up. A wide receiver on either side. Shaw in the backfield next to Harrington. Takes the snap. Handoff. Shaw gets out of there with ease, and he's got space. Plenty of daylight to the 20, 15, out to the 30, to the 35, 40. There's a flag back at the 15, and that's likely coming back for holding.
And an unnecessary hold there from Chatard. They had a one-on-one block with Eli Lauk deep down the field, 30 yards down the field, and you're not going to do much with that block. Really, all you need to do is get in his way. You can see the coaches on the Chatard sideline going nuts, just not disappointed with the call, but disappointed with their player for making that mistake, because it's going to cost them big here.
That would have been a momentum shift for the Trojans, but instead, you walk things back.
And a nice job by the Roncalli defensive backs to continue in pursuit and make that tough. Honestly, Jimmy, when the running back broke through the first level and got past the linebackers, I thought he was gone. I was thinking, okay, what's the record for longest touchdown in Bob Tolley Field history, because they're about to break it. But a nice job by Eli Lauk, Will Hegwood, A.J. Richardson on the back end there to keep competing and really force the penalty.
Well, with the way the penalty and the way the rules operate in high school, it is going to be a 1st and 10 for them at the 13. So they have more breathing room, but it does let the Royals breathe some sigh of release. 1st and 10 from the 13. A wide receiver on either side for Harrington. He hands off to Shaw. Full head of steam this time is worth 4.
Daniel Adams on the carry.
And it's the first time, Jimmy, that Chatard's been able to get past the second level of the Roncalli defense. And that's not uncommon when you've got an aggressive defense trying to force a safety. That's why it's so important that your safeties behind you are ready to clean things up, as Roncalli's defense was there.
2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. 2nd and 7 from the Roncalli 16, 6:40 to play. First half, we're scoreless. Harrington in the gun. Handoff. Shaw up the middle. Moves the chains, or moves the mark, I should say, a little closer to those chains. But it's still 3rd and short, 3rd and 3, in fact.
Yeah, Roncalli brought a little bit of pressure there, and they've done that on those 2nd and longs all night so far. Big play here. If you can stop the Trojans and force another punt, you're going to pick up great field position here.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3rd and 3 from the Chatard 20. 3rd and 3 from the Chatard 20. Harrington. Pressure comes. Pocket collapse. He is brought down. The Royals sack him back at the 20-yard line. And they'll actually spot it all the way back at the 18. So the Royal defense comes up big. They do not waste the Gavin Luthane punt. And the Royals will get the football back with 5:40 to play. And counting in this first half.
Fantastic stand by the defense there. You give up what you think is going to be a 50-yard run. It comes back for a penalty. Huge stop for the Royal defense.
An interesting note, it's just Rudy Shutley back there now. This time, the Royals brought pressure. That's a punt that's going to take a Royals bounce initially, and it will take that Roncalli bounce. So the Royals have their best position on the field of the night at the Chatard 49 And a real opportunity to try to put our first points on the board with 5:19 to play in this second quarter. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Indy Teledata. Indy Teledata is powering Roncalli High School's IT needs with precision and expertise. Led by owner and Roncalli alum Steve Battiato, who brings extensive experience from working with businesses of all sizes, Indy Teledata delivers cutting-edge IT solutions that drive success. Looking to elevate your IT game? Visit IndyTeledata.com to find out how Steve and his team can transform your business with seamless state-of-the-art technology. For unbeatable IT solutions and a partner you can rely on, choose Indy Teledata. 1st and 10 from the Chatard 49 for Roncalli. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Buchanan in the gun. Handoff. Adams spinning, turning, make that Dozier, I beg your pardon, and he'll pick up 3.
And you can tell Zach's not really comfortable yet with that type of run scheme. I mean, that was between the tackle and the guard, and that's not really his style of running. Fortunately, he was able to pick up a few there.
2 wide receivers on either side for the Royals. Dozier still the tailback. He is right behind Buchanan in the gun. 2nd and 7 from the Chatard 46. Now Buchanan looks to the sidelines. 13 on the play clock. It's been a defensive battle to this point, the 65th meeting between these two schools. Buchanan now set to go. 5 on the play clock. Takes the snap. 2-step drop. Quick throw in the flat is dropped. Hit the turf, in fact. A little bit of tough ask there for Colin Ash. So it's 3rd down and medium.
And if you're sitting in the stands or watching at home, you see that pass and think, oh, what was that? That's a really tough throw to make, that out to the field. That is the one area where Jaden can improve. When he has to sit in the pocket and really get crisp with his footwork, where he's not using his athleticism on those sprint out, roll out type plays, he gets a little inaccurate. So room for improvement there for the senior quarterback.
3rd and 7 from the Chatard 46. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Buchanan sends a man in motion. It's Ash. And the Royals have illegal formation, or a false start, in fact. They'll make this a little bit longer of a 3rd down try.
Yeah, it's really tough because now if you're Chatard, 3rd and 10 plus, there's not really a good call in the playbook as an offense. And if you're Chatard, you can do whatever you want here. We talked earlier in the game about the stunts they like to run up front. I'd expect them to get aggressive and creative here and try to keep Jaden Buchanan in the pocket, not extend the play, and see what he can do from there. But I expect them to try to get the ball out quick here.
You know what we call that, Dan? It's a Ronnie Stanley situation is what that was right there. 3rd and 12 from the Roncalli 49.
He got called for that 5 times
He did indeed. Got to love a point of emphasis game. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Buchanan, 3-step drop. Steps in the pocket, spins, turns. He's rolling. He's got some space. 45-40 has the 1st down. Let's see the spot, but from our eyeball, that should be enough for the 1st. That spot is questionable at best. It's right at the sticks, and I think they're moving those chains.
I do not agree with that spot.
Based on the spot, you're moving the chains. Oh, they're saying short.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
It'll
be 4th and a yard for the Royals. Oh, my goodness.
That's a yard short of where it should be spotted. That's tough.
So no question about it for the Royals. They're going to go for it. 3:50 to play in this first half. 4th and 1. QB sneak. Initial momentum pull. They have the 1st down. Buchanan, I believe, kept it himself. And a little tush-push-esque, if you will.
Yeah, and
moves the chains.
Chatard penetrated super aggressively at both A-gaps there. Didn't look like Jaden was going to have it off the bat, but he kept those legs moving. The offensive line kept things moving. He was able to find some room in the C-gap over to the perimeter and pick that up. But huge pickup there off of a questionable spot. That would have been a huge momentum shift there.
1 wide receiver to the left. Bunch formation on the line to the right for the Royals. 1st and 10 from the Chatard 38. Buchanan. Screen pass, leads Adams, caught to the 30, and he'll be a couple yards short of a 1st down, but a great initial 1st down gain for the Royals, setting up 2nd and short.
Great play call and great read by Jaden Buchanan. Chatard is not used to losing. They're not used to being in these tie ball games as we get closer to halftime. They're getting aggressive. That's what Coach Doyle will do. He'll turn up the knob a little bit to make sure that his defense is staying aggressive. But a great job by the Roncalli offense to stay calm and just execute their play. A lot of pressure in their face, but they stayed calm, found the swing route, and hit it for a nice gain.
A lot of confused looks at the sideline for the Royals with 8 on the play clock. They're going to still run this. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right on 2nd and 2. Buchanan, 3-step drop, looking, airs it out, downfield. Is it ripped away and caught? No, it's intercepted. intercepted in the end zone. It was a fight for it by Drew Nelson and the Trojan corner in Chase Heim, I believe, who makes the pick. So it was a deep shot, jump ball. It was thrown a little short of Nelson, so he had to fight for the football, but Heim rips it away, and it's a touchback to Bishop Chatard.
That's the shot you don't need to take if you're Buchanan. Now, he is looking at the sidelines, talking to his coaches, and it was confusion from the get-go. I don't think the players knew exactly what play needed to go, and that would have been Roncalli's third timeout that they had to burn. So a little frustrating there to this deep into the game to still have that miscommunication between the coaching staff and the offense.
I will say, though, Dan, in hindsight's 20/20, but based on the body language looks, I get it. You don't want to lose that timeout, but this is likely your last offensive possession of the half anyway. Maybe it should have been used. Either way, it's a handoff up the middle for Bishop Chatard. Daniel Shaw, I believe, on the carry. He'll pick up 3, and now the Trojans, Dan, like you mentioned it, they're not used to being in tight games or being behind, but also they don't have to break a sweat right now because they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah,
anything that happens on this drive is kind of gravy for them.
This is your old 4-minute drive to end the half, knowing that you can potentially steal a possession. So, yeah, they've still got their timeouts, and they're comfortable running the football. So expect them to try to extend this drive nice and long here.
2nd and 7. Give is to Shaw, trying to find the edge, nowhere to go. He stays in bounds, so it's 3rd and about 5. With a $1:45 to play in the first half, we're still scoreless. Again, a reminder, Roncalli just one timeout to work with, so even if they wanted to try to tempt a punt and to get the football back, they only have one of those to work with. Inside of 90 seconds, 3rd and 5 from the Chatard 25. 3rd and 5 from the Bishop Chatard 25 for the Trojans. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Harrington with Shaw in the backfield. 3-step drop, looking, over the middle, dropped. Good contested defensive coverage by A.J. Richardson. And now the Trojans will have to punt it away, and Roncalli will get the football back. 1:16 to play in this first half. That's where the timeouts start to get interesting, Dan.
So the key play there, Jimmy, was 2nd down. I believe it was 2nd and 6.
Yep.
And the Roncalli defensive front did such a good job being aggressive up front, winning their blocks at the line of scrimmage, and limiting that to a 1-yard carry, forcing Chatard to have to throw on 3rd down. The incomplete pass stops the clock and saves a timeout for the Royals.
Shutley back to receive. It's blocked. The Royals blocked the punt. The Royals blocked the punt. It's scooped up and taken at the 30-yard line for Roncalli. So the Royals are the big special teams, and you mentioned it, Dan. They were knocking on the door last time. They break through it there.
Yeah, they have been aggressive on the past 2 punts. Coach Luke Cyphers must see something that he likes out of the Chatard punt team. And Eli Lauk getting in there, as well as Will Hegwood, who we've talked about previously, just being a really smart football player as a sophomore. Huge momentum shift. We talked just a second ago, Jimmy, about Chatard maybe being able to bleed this clock out and get some points and steal a possession. Now you've got Roncalli with the football back on the 28-yard line, headed into the red zone, and still with a timeout in their back pocket.
67 seconds in this first half. We're scoreless. Royals with the football. As Dan mentioned, on the Chatard 28. 1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Buchanan sends a man in motion. 2-step drop. Screen pass. Dozier. 30. 25. Kept in bounds. Clock will run inside of a minute.
When you're able to execute those swing passes like that, that's just an extension of your run game. And a really nice job, Jaden Buchanan, putting that right on the money for Dozier to catch it in stride, pick up a nice 4-yard gain.
3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 45 seconds to play. 2nd and 6 from the 24. Buchanan, 3-step drop. Go ball. Down the field. Incomplete. I paused for a second because the way that collision happened, and I think it would have been the Roncalli way if they called anything. I was looking maybe if there'd be OPI, Dan. I wouldn't ask for that, but it was looking maybe, and instead of just a fight for the football in that battle was Connor Kessler. So 3rd and 6.
Would
Clock
like
stops,
to see Buchanan put a little more loft under that. He really zinged that in. I think he was going for the back shoulder for Kessler.
You
but
think
with
he
the
overcompensated a bit?
I think so, and with the size advantage, you want to get that ball up for that basketball player to go high point it.
3rd and 6 from the Chatard 24. High snap. Buchanan. He's surrounded. Contorts his body. Tucks and runs. Has the first down. Stays on his feet. And he'll get all the way to the 11-yard line. 27 seconds. Clock will pause momentarily. for the move of the chains. The Royals got to be set and ready to go.
You think the defense would try to spy Jaden? The problem is, if you're playing spy, which is where you designate a defender to sit right behind the line of scrimmage and just mirror him, you can't see him. He's not the tallest kid in the world. You lose him in that junk.
And they'll say he got out of bounds. The clock stops. 1st and 10 from the 13. Buchanan, 3-step drop. Pressure comes. He looks. He walks into a sack, and the Royals have to burn a timeout here. I guess they could let it ride, but they got to be quick and efficient to do so. And no, they'll just burn the timeout.
And you can't take the sack there. You can't take the sack. Nope. You are close enough to where you can literally just chuck the ball out of the back of the end zone, and it's not going to be grounded.
That's where the dancing and the creativity,
right.
It can be a dangerous game.
It's he's such a competitor, and he wants to score on every play, and it's just he doesn't have a ton of experience yet. I know he got into the games at the end of last season, and he's got 7 quarters under his belt so far this season, but he's going to learn that you got to know when to hold him and when to fold him, Jimmy. And that's a time where you fold them. You got to know the game situation. You only have 1 timeout left. Just throw the ball out of the back of the end zone there.
Tonight's game brought to you by O'Reilly Branson Funeral Service and Crematory. Since 1971, O'Reilly Branson Funeral Service and Crematory has been dedicated to serving families with the utmost dignity and compassion. They ensure your wishes are honored to the finest detail, allowing you to celebrate the life and cherished memories of your loved ones. For more information on their services and to explore pre-planning options, visit O'ReillyBranson.com. O'Reilly Branson, where care and respect meet at every step. 2nd and 12 from the Royals from the Chatard 15. We're scoreless. 19 seconds to play in this first half. Bunch formation to the left. 1 wide receiver out to the right. That's Kessler. Buchanan in the gun. Dozer to his left side. Takes the snap. Looking right. Go ball. End zone. Incomplete.
I really like the call. So the Royals run motion. They run Drew Nelson on the motion across the formation to the 1-by side where you have Connor Kessler by himself to the boundary. Kessler runs a little slide route or skinny post to the end zone. That opens up Nelson. The timing was just a little bit off. Jaden threw it a little bit early because of the pressure. Nelson hadn't got his head around quite yet.
Clock will stop, though, so it's 3rd and 12 from the Chatard 15. 14 seconds to play in the half. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Buchanan takes the snap. Pressure coming. Airs it out. Right sideline. Incomplete. 4th down and 12. 9 seconds to go. And the Royals, I think this time, will just try and take the points as Gavin Luthane and the field goal team head out onto the field.
And a smart play there by Jaden Buchanan. You cannot take a sack there knowing the Royals don't have any more timeouts. He puts it where only his receiver could potentially get it. Ball sails out of bounds. That's the second best outcome for the Royals there. And hopefully Gavin Luthane can show that same strength in his leg as he did in his previous punt in the first quarter.
So it'll be a 32-yard attempt for Gavin Luthane with 9 seconds to play in the half to break our scoreless tie. Good snap, good hold, kick on the way, and it is good. So the Royals draw first blood. It just happens to happen with 6 seconds to play in the first half. Royals 3, Trojans nothing. We'll step aside and be right back. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. Royals on the board. 3-0 over the Bishop Chatard Trojans with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. 7 plays, 12 yards, 58 seconds. Capped off with a 32-yard field goal by Gavin Luthane. You never know where these games are going to go, but you do know they've been decided by 1 possession the last 3 times, and so far, so good to that formula.
This is a team in Chatard who scored 58 points against Brebeuf. A good opponent, right? Brebeuf shaky on defense, but 58 points against anybody's a lot. And then follow it up with 28 points in the first half against Hanover Central, a game that didn't get finished. They don't feel good right now. This is not something they're used to being involved in. They're on a 21-game win streak, and they're losing at halftime, hopefully, barring anything crazy happening here. A little bit uncomfortable for the Trojans right now.
Luthane gets all of that. It'll be taken at the 5-yard line to the 10. 15, now 20. Trying to bounce outside, nothing doing there, and 0-0 is on the clock. So Sam Otley and company have to be rather thrilled with a lead. You'll take a lead any way you can get it. The Royals, plenty to work on, plenty to fix, but all things considered, to have an advantage going into the break in a rivalry matchup like this, Dan, that's always a good feeling.
Yeah, no, you'll take this all day. I guarantee you, if you would have asked Coach Otley before the game, would you take a 3-0 lead into halftime? He'd say absolutely, especially when you're at home in front of your home crowd. A fantastic first half there from the Royals. Certainly a few things to clean up. The biggest thing is going to be adjustments at halftime because Chatard historically has been great at making those. Let's see if the Royals can match.
In terms of game flow for Roncalli, had a couple drives stall. How do you tell yourself as a staff and as a unit, yes, we had drive stall, but a lot of that is this is an incredible defensive front that we're going up against.
You hit it, Jimmy. I mean, you're going up against the number one team in 4A right now, a potential sectional opponent. I mean, this is a really good program that, again, has not lost a game in 21 games. They're the defending 3A state champions. You cannot expect to play a team like that and just wallop them from the beginning, right? And that's why I love Coach Otley's mindset. You know, he talked about it in the pregame show. There was no talk about winning or losing or we should beat this team, anything like that, right? It was all the process and just growing and finding things where they could teach the players, okay, these are the few things we need to adjust and grow in. And I love that mindset, and it really makes your players comfortable, and you could see that here tonight.
We are going to step aside for halftime. When we return, we will have a look at all the first half stats. We will take you through the latest around Roncalli High School, including a few minutes with the president, Chuck Weisenbach. And we will look at second half keys for success for Roncalli. It's the 65th meeting all time between these two programs. The last three have all been decided by one possession. That's been the game script so far. At the halftime intermission, Roncalli 3, Bishop Chatard nothing. Halftime show up next. You're watching Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
There's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Don't sweat the summer heat any longer.
Let Peterman handle it.
Right now is the best time to replace or upgrade because when you install a qualifying heating and cooling system with Peterman, you get the AC for free.
This is a deal that can keep everyone cool.
And we'll install next day guaranteed or we'll give you $500.
Don't wait. When summer ends, so does this deal.
Just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Discover the Coin Index in Greenwood. Have you inherited a coin collection you aren't sure what to do with? Are you interested in investing in precious metals? Then the Coin Index is your ultimate destination for coins and precious metals. We buy, sell, and appraise. Located at 857 North Madison Avenue, just south of the Greenwood Park Mall. For expert service and top-notch selection, visit us at coinindex.com. The Coin Index, your trusted partner in coins and precious metals.
It's halftime from Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. Roncalli leads Bishop Chatard 3-0 with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. This broadcast is presented, of course, by Gallagher's Pizza. It's also brought to you by Anne and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Anne and Bartram Heating and Cooling, not only the $100 touchdown sponsor, should we get to have any of those tonight, we'll get to that in a second, but they are your go-to source for heating and cooling needs. Get the winning support your home deserves with Anne and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Just like they support the Roncalli Royals, Anna and Bartram are here to back you up with reliable heating and cooling services. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an urgent repair, their team is ready to step in and keep your home comfortable. With 24/7 emergency service, they're always in your corner. Show your support and call Anna and Bartram today at 317-889-9574. That's 317-889-9574. For service that's as dependable as your favorite team, go with Anna and Bartram. Dan, this is a game that makes the letter jackets on both sides of the field smile.
Yep.
Because it's a rock fight, and the Royals fortunate to be in front, leading 3-0 at the break.
Yeah, is this 1969, the first time the Trojans and Royals faced off? I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of folks in the stadium right now that hate this type of football, and there's some others out there that absolutely love this type of slugfest between these two North Deanery and South Deanery rivals.
Looking at the initial numbers here, what jumps out at you starting first with the quarterback battle?
So, Jack Harrington has been virtually unstoppable in his first two contests of this season. The junior has been a fantastic player. I know Kyle Nedrip of the Indy Star had a nice piece about him in the 20 players that have stood out so far this season. He hasn't done much, Jimmy, and that is a testament not only to the Royals' defensive backfield, which has been step for step with the Trojan receivers, but the defensive line, to keep him in the pocket. I told you one of the keys to the game was make him one-dimensional, and they've been able to do that so far. He has completed one ball for 14 yards, right? This is a kid who has 7 touchdowns on the year coming into this game through just 6 quarters. I mean, he's been putting up video game numbers. So, again, Chatard has to feel uncomfortable right now. Again, 21-game winning streak. You've put up doing the math real quick in my head, Jimmy. Let's see. That 80-plus points in 6 quarters in your first 2 games, and now you come out here and you can't barely get the ball past the 50. I mean, Roncalli's defense is the story so far, and Roncalli's offense has played clean football. They just haven't quite been able to finish drives, and that's a testament to the Chatard defense.
Where's the momentum currently bubbling in your mind? Is it with Roncalli? Because as you mentioned, Chatard really hasn't been in a game like this, not only all season, but it's been a minute since Chatard's been in a game where they've been limited offensively. Is it with Roncalli now, or is it with Chatard because now you're waking a sleeping giant potentially?
No, I think the momentum's with Roncalli. The pressure is on Chatard. You know, coming into this season, we talked about it, Jimmy, with the rough year that Roncalli had last year. There were questions. You know, who's going to step up? Do they have the play at quarterback to really finish drives? And the answer has been a resounding yes so far. And then even more than that, the job that defensive coordinator Scott Hauser in his first year, his second stint at Roncalli, but his first year as defensive coordinator here, replacing Dan Harris, who's now at Cecina, he has been fantastic with his defensive play calling. And what I love the best about his defense is he keeps it simple. In high school football, you put your players in the best position to succeed. You don't need to always draw up a bunch of, foreign, really fancy blitzes to try to stop another team. Just get your players good at what they know how to do, and he's really embraced that.
We're going to step out here on our halftime show. When we come back, we will go through further the analytical look with our first half stats. We'll also look at Dan's keys to the game, as well as update you on the ongoings throughout the Roncalli school year calendar. But first, it is an element of the summer break that is always a strong tradition of Roncalli High School. Summer field studies. The latest on that with a nice piece is the subject of this week's A Few Minutes with the President.
Buying or selling land, maybe a hunting paradise, some productive farmland, or a cozy home with some elbow room? Then look no further than Bill and Jay Miner, your Whitetail Properties land specialists. These Roncalli alums know West Central and South Central Indiana like the back of their hands. Don't wait. Call Bill and Jay today at 317-446-9500 or at 317-370-2422 or visit their agent profiles at whitetailproperties.com.
Don't sweat the summer heat any longer.
Let Peterman handle it.
Right now is the best time to replace or upgrade because when you install a qualifying heating and cooling system with Peterman, you get the AC for free.
This is a deal that can keep everyone cool.
And we'll install next day guaranteed, or we'll give you $500.
Don't wait. When summer ends, so does this deal.
Just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Greetings to all in our Roncalli family and welcome to the 31st episode of A Few Minutes with the President. 42 years ago in the summer of 1982, a couple of young, uber-energetic, visionary educators, each of whom would go on to enjoy a distinguished career in education, set out on a trip to Rocky Mountain National Park with 5 young people who at that time were students at Roncalli. That trip was the inaugural voyage of what we would later become known as Roncalli High School's Summer Field Studies program. Thank you to Joe Hollowell and Deb Sachs, who were those visionary educators and co-founders of this highly acclaimed, highly respected, and ultra-successful program. 40 years later, our Summer Field Studies program has profoundly touched the lives of well over 3,000 young people and is still going strong. I'm pleased today to welcome to our Few Minutes with the President our Dean of Students, Tim Crispin, who along with Daryl Slevin currently serve as co-directors of the program. Tim, thank you to you and to Daryl for the time, energy, passion, and commitment that you both continue to pour into Summer Field Studies. You know, I marvel at the fact that there aren't that many things that engaged young people back in 1984 that still effectively engage young people today. What is it about Summer Field Studies that has allowed it to withstand the test of time?
Well, Chuck, over the years I've had the ability to speak to all kinds of different people that have been on the Summer Field Studies adventure, whether it be individuals that just got done this past June or individuals that had gone on the trip over 20 years ago. There's been a resounding theme that has come forward. Now, each of these individuals had unique experience with which they continue to share with their friends and family, but the resounding theme that comes through over and over again is that they were able to have a personal encounter with Christ. And that looked unique to each individual. Maybe it was in the nature that they were exploring. Maybe it was when they laid down at night and saw all the stars in the sky. Maybe it was something as simple as a stranger who helped them out on the hike at some point in time, or just that ability to have a meaningful time with their peers. You mentioned earlier, Chuck, about the whole idea of no matter all the evolution that we've had and technologies and everything, that this trip continues to be successful. And I think that's rooted in our ability to put all those distractions away in life and just have a genuine relationship with one another by just sitting and talking to each other. And I think that trip delivers that over and over again for our individuals, and it's where they truly see the face of Christ in one another.
Thank you, Tim, and thanks to you and Daryl for your leadership as well. The Bible states in Genesis 1:31, "And God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good." Our Summer Field Studies program and the opportunity it provides our young people to explore God's beauty and glory, while also being immersed in prayer, fellowship, and the Eucharist, is one of our school's most unique and most special blessings. I extend my own personal thank you to Joe Hollowell, Deb Sachs, all of the adult leaders, Sherpas, and to all those who played any role in our Summer Field Studies program these past 40 years. Well done to all of you. And thank you as well to all of you who make possible this transformational ministry of a Catholic education at Roncalli through your gifts of time, talent, treasure, and prayer. God bless you. Go Royals, and St. John the 23rd, pray for us.
Gallagher's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Discover the Coin Index in Greenwood. Have you inherited a coin collection you aren't sure what to do with? Are you interested in investing in precious metals? Then the Coin Index is your ultimate destination for coins and precious metals. We buy, sell, and appraise. Located at 857 North Madison Avenue, just south of the Greenwood Park Mall. For expert service and top-notch selection, visit us at coinindex.com. The Coin Index, your trusted partner in coins and precious metals.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing as low as 2.99% APR. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
Back at Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School with Dan Lauk, I am Jimmy Cook. Second half, moments away from getting underway. While we have a second, we'd like to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Marian University. Just 10 minutes from downtown Indy, Marian University stands out with its mission to be a premier Catholic university committed to excellence in learning. Embracing the Franciscan and liberal arts traditions, Marian University excels in teaching, research, and scholarly activities. Interested in becoming a Knight or know someone who is? Discover more about enrollment and join a community dedicated to greatness at marian.edu. Go Knights. Dan, about 60 seconds and change before the Royals kick it off to Chatard to start the second half. Royals lead it 3-0. Second half keys to success for Roncalli.
I mentioned it right before half, Jimmy, but Chatard historically has been a team that is well coached and does a great job making adjustments at halftime. You know, a lot of times in high school football, you don't have the roster size and you don't necessarily have the talent on the coaching staff to be able to change up your game plan as much as teams would like to, but they do, and they will, right? So I think the key is for Roncalli just being able to make adjustments on the fly here in the second half and be able to roll with the punches. It's very unlikely that you're going to keep this goose egg up on the board. It's tough to shut out anybody, especially a team with a high-powered offense like Chatard. So you got to roll with the punches, expect this to be a really competitive second half, but keep doing what you're doing and play Roncalli football.
For Roncalli, we mentioned it, Jane Buchanan, 10 of 19, 84 yards and a pick. But he also had 7 carries for 30 yards on the ground. The explosiveness and the magician's hat is still on the head of Jaden Buchanan, but the Royals will need a bit more production offensively if they're going to fully put the Trojans away. Long way to go between now and then as Chatard awaits the kickoff to start the second half as Gavin Luthane set to boot one deep.
You ready for my trivia, Jimmy?
Always love a Dan Lauk trivia question. What do you got for us tonight?
Okay, I mentioned Chatard's on a 21-game winning streak, with their last loss coming in October of 2022 against an out-of-state team in Cincinnati Elder. For those at home, tweet me at Dan_Lauk or at DJ Cook.
At the J Cook, THEJCOOK.
What is Roncalli's longest winning streak in program history? And bonus question, when did it take place?
Luthane kicks an end-over-ender that's taken at the 10-yard line to the 15, now to the 20. Full burst of steam out to the 30. On the return there was Chase Heim.
So again, if you know it, what is Roncalli's longest win streak? So consecutive wins in program history. And bonus if you know when it took place.
So that is your trivia question tonight. It's a good one, Dan. You're bringing it. You're bringing it across the board in this showdown. It'd be great for the Royals, not to put the cart before the horse, but to have an opportunity to snap a winning streak of nearly 2 years in a rivalry game, no doubt. First and 10 from the 30 for the Trojans. Harrington, quick screen, low in the dirt.
Good job by the pressure there up front by the Royals, and a really nice job on the outside by A.J. Richardson, the safety, coming downhill and getting outside of his block. Chatard was trying to set that up to get all the way to the sideline. Richardson got outside of his block, and that made the Trojan receiver, the running back, not even make an attempt at the pass, knowing he was going to get hit for a loss.
Second and 10 from the 30, opening drive of this second half. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Harrington takes the snap, rolls right. He is sacked. A trio of Royals there, but it's Dom Nelson with the exclamation point. It's going to bump it all the way back to the 22-yard line. It'll be a loss of 8, and it's 3rd and long.
And folks, the Royals are winning the battle up front. Dom Nelson, 2 plays in a row, controlling the line of scrimmage, that time coming up with the sack. Previous play forcing an errant throw from Harrington. Jack Harrington has only completed 1 pass tonight for 14 yards. Heck of a job so far by the Roncalli defense.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right for the Trojans. 3rd and 18 for the Roncalli 22. Harrington in the gun. Shaw is his tailback. Takes the snap. Give is to Shaw. He gets a burst of speed, and he'll get back to the initial starting point of this drive. But that's it. And the Trojans, quick 3 and out. The Royals get the stand they were looking for.
Boy, Jimmy, I got hairs standing up on my arms right now. This team is so disciplined. It's the little tiny things that you wouldn't notice as a fan sitting in the stands. But Will Hegwood there, one-on-one with a running back. All he has to do is get him to the ground. He knows he's going to take a lick. That running back's got 40 pounds on him, and he does such a great job just getting the running back to the ground, knowing what the situation is.
Rudy Shutley back to receive the punt. It takes a Trojan bounce all the way to the 34-yard line of Roncalli. But that's where the Royals will set up shop to begin the second half for them, their first drive. Tonight's game brought to you by Lauk Veldhoff Funeral Home and Cremation Services. In times of need, the caring and experienced professionals at Lauk Veldhoff Funeral Home and Cremation Services are here to support you through this difficult period. They offer a range of personalized services tailored to your family's wishes and requirements, ensuring a meaningful and lasting tribute to your loved one. For compassionate support and expert guidance, visit laukveldhoff.com. Lauk Veldhoff Funeral and Cremation Services, where care and respect meet every moment. First and 10 from the Roncalli 35. Their opening drive of this second half. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Buchanan. As in the gun, Dozier the tailback. Sends a man in motion, that's Ash. High snap, give, Dozier bouncing outside, cutting back inside, he'll gain 2.
Not a ton there for Dozier. But again, the Roncalli defense coming out of halftime there to go 3 and out on Chatard, force a sack. Just really impressed with this program so far this year. No matter what happens tonight, Jimmy, I'm going to be honest and vulnerable right now. I told you coming into the season I was a little worried with both the schedule and the inexperience on the Roncalli side. But boy, am I impressed so far.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 8. QB draw, Buchanan smothered. Forward progress will move him with a gain of a yard perhaps, but it's 3rd and 7.
Royals haven't had a ton of success running on the interior so far tonight. Again, that's another design run for Jaden Buchanan. They pulled the guard from the backside. Not much coming out of it, but what that does do is it sets you up on the perimeter and downfield. So you can't completely go away from that interior run game.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, 3rd and 7 from their own 38-yard line. Buchanan sends a man in motion. It's a screen that way, read the whole way, and it's going to be a loss of 2. One thing I want to run at you, Dan, and there's still plenty of time in this ball game, but you mentioned on that first drive of the game, the Royals had a deep crossing route to Drew Nelson. Do you expect as this game unfolds that the Royals might expand that playbook to try to test the secondary of Chatard, or do you expect a methodical approach like we've seen since then?
Yeah, no, I think they're going to continue doing what they do best. Just like I said at halftime, Coach Otley's going to put his players in a position to succeed. So I don't think, you're playing great so far, and I know you don't have a lot of points on the board, but you don't want to get too crazy and change up your game plan when you don't need to yet.
Luthane boots it deep. That's a high spinning kick that is bobbled but secured at the 28-yard line of Chatard. So it's a field position bake-off here at Bob Tully Field as both teams go 3 and out to begin this second half. Tonight's game brought to you by Vision Quest Eye Care. Did summer zoom by and your child missed their back-to-school eye exam? Don't worry, let the experts at Vision Quest Eye Care help. With 2 convenient locations in Greenwood and Geist, they're ready to ensure your child's vision is in top shape for the school year. Schedule an appointment today at visioneyequest.com. That's visioneyequestcare.com. First and 10 from the 28. It's play action. Harrington throws at the sticks, caught, but they run backwards on that far left side. So the momentum of that throw on the reception made by Caleb Sargent's going to make it 2nd and 4. He was at the sticks when he caught it, but his momentum carried him backwards.
And a nice throw there by Harrington, well executed, but that's a tough throw. And again, the little things. Sam New did a great job on his perimeter to the field side of making sure Harrington couldn't get outside the pocket there.
It'll be 2nd and 3, the official mark from their own 35. Handoff. Shaw cuts upfield to the 40, and he's tackled at the 45-yard line. But a big gain for Shaw, a gain of 10. It moves the chains and keeps the drive going for the Trojans with 8:10 to play in this third quarter.
Big hit from the backside there, from his backside outside linebacker position from Robert Hauser. First time we've seen Chatard really have success with the power run game. They opened up a nice vertical seam there, but good rally defense from the Royals.
First and 10 from the Trojan 45. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Fakes a screen, throw over the middle, caught at the 40, spinning to the 35-yard line. Harrison Forrestal, the tight end, just a stop route, sat right over the middle, Dan, and he's able to get a big gain.
So again, those in-game adjustments, Jimmy. The Trojans, first play out of halftime, tried to hit that swing route to their running back. The Royals were really aggressive and ate it up. That time, Harrington takes a look at the swing but waits just a second. The Royals get really aggressive again on it, and the slot sneaks in right behind for a nice pickup.
First and 10 for the Roncalli 34. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Harrington starting to get comfortable. Screen pass, left side, caught. Now he gave himself up for a loss of 2, they'll say.
Yeah, it looked like his knee was on the ground. If Harrington was a little more patient, the Trojans had a double move up there to their own sideline, and our corner bid on it just a little bit, Eli Lauk, and Harrington may not have had enough time to get that ball away, but had he, that was a walk-in touchdown.
2nd and 12 from the Roncalli 36. Under 7 minutes to play third quarter. Royals 3, Trojans nothing. Harrington in the gun. 1 wide receiver to the right, 3 bunched on the line to the left. Harrington, handoff. Left side, churning the legs is Adams. He goes nowhere. They'll actually give him a gain of 2, but all that does is get back to the original mark prior to the loss of 2 on first down. So 3rd and 10 for the Trojans.
Good job by the Roncalli defense there. Another power run from the Trojans. The Roncalli defense takes on that kick-out block really physically and makes that vertical seam that the Trojans just hit a few plays ago a lot tighter to run through.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Harrington shouts out directions to the line. 3rd and 10 from the Roncalli 34. 6:05 to play third quarter. Royals lead at 3-0. Harrington, 2-step drop. Feels the pressure. Throws. Has a man open downfield. Caught. Touchdown, Chatard.
It's the double move, Jimmy.
Well, let's see. He might have stepped out at the 2. He did indeed step out at the 2. Sargent with the big gainer, and the Trojans on the doorstep of taking the lead for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and we got away with it because Harrington didn't see it the first time, but we didn't learn our lesson defensively. We bit up hard on that double route. The receiver was Julio Graves that time on the outside and made that double move on Eli Lauk, a quick little hitch, and then ran right by him and was wide open. Surprised he stepped out there, though.
A wide receiver on either side, first and goal from the 1. Harrington, handoff, Shaw, walk-in, touchdown, Trojans. With 5:54 to play in this third quarter, the Royals held serve for nearly 3/4 of play, but the dam breaks there, and the Trojans an extra point away from making this a 4-point advantage with 5:54 to play in the third.
It's fine to be aggressive on a double move, Jimmy, but the way it's taught, and I see Coach Brian Lauk on the bench right there about to talk to his nephew Eli, the way it's taught is if you're going to bite on it, you have to bite aggressively and stay on the upfield shoulder. If you try to jump the route and intercept it and you don't make contact with the receiver, you're in a world of hurt there.
Point after try is good. 5:54 to play in the third quarter. Trojans score for the first time tonight. They lead it 7-3. How do the Royals respond? We'll find out after this. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 5:54 to play in this third quarter with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Second-ranked Trojans leading your 11th-ranked Royals. 7-3 advantage after that scoring drive. 7 plays, 72 yards, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. The 1-yard touchdown run by Shaw makes it 7-3 Bishop Chatard. Royals got to respond here, Dan. The way the momentum is shifted, you need a nice scoring drive. Doesn't matter how long, but a scoring drive all the same.
Yep, and the Trojan defense came out in that first offensive drive for Roncalli and really didn't give up much at all.
That is taken at the 5-yard line by Ash to the 15, contorts his body to the 18-yard line, and that's where the Royals will set up shop. Well, you mentioned it. The Trojans made life very difficult for the Royals from an offensive standpoint on their opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, you take a look at the first game of the season. Chatard, again, put up 58 points against Brebeuf, gave up 28, but that's a high-powered Brebeuf offense. This is a really talented defense of Chatard, and similar to Roncalli, they're not going to do anything fancy. They're just going to be really good at executing. They're not going to give you an inch. You have to beat them. So it has to come back to the playmaking ability of Jaden Buchanan here.
3 wide receivers bunched to the left, 1 to the right on 1st and 10 for the Roncalli 18. Buchanan, quick screen, right side. Kessler dropped it. Drew Nelson, I beg your pardon, dropped it. Nelson committed the sin that we've all made at some point in time. You want to take off and run before you secure the football.
Yep, and that's his second drop of the night. He's usually a sure-handed wide receiver. Obviously, the first one came in the end zone earlier in the game. I like the quick screen game to the perimeter. It's an extension of your run, but you got to catch the ball.
2nd and 10 from the 18, and the gun is Buchanan. Rolling right, pressure coming. He evades it, turns upfield, contorts his body to the 20. Flag flies late, and this is going to be unfortunate for the Royals because this had nothing to do with the play whatsoever. But Zane Baker was on top of a Trojan lineman at the 15-yard line, refused to let him get up, and I don't know how they'll word this, if it'll be a holding or not, but that's wildly unfortunate for the Royals.
Well, it's also not a penalty. I understand it looks like a penalty, but when you pancake a guy, that's what you're taught as an offensive lineman, is to not let him back up. So they're talking about that here, but I know the Chatard defender was frustrated,
it's
but
a hold,
that should not be a hold. I disagree with that call. You're taught to be aggressive as an offensive lineman. You're not just going to let the kid stand back up and go chase into the play. If you get pancaked, that's what's going to happen to you.
Well, the officials unfortunately didn't see it that way. And they do not pick up that flag. So it will negate another game-changing play potentially by Jane Buchanan, and the Royals will have to back up.
And teams continue to underestimate how quick Jaden Buchanan is. You really, I think going forward, Jimmy, and they're going to have a tough schedule with, plenty of athletic rosters. You're going to see teams start to spy him or bracket him potentially with two linebackers because the defensive linemen and even the linebackers can't keep up with him right now.
It's a 9-yard penalty when you add in the Buchanan run, so it's 2nd and 19 for the Royals from their own 9. A rough start to this response drive. How do they bounce back now?
A dropped pass and a penalty.
Yep.
You aren't going to beat Chatard doing that.
No, you will not. Bunch formation on either side of the line. Buchanan in the gun. 2nd and 19. 2-step drop. Short on the pass. Out in the flat. And it's 3rd down.
Yeah, not much you can do here. Screen draw is typically the play call here. 3rd and forever. You're backed up in your own end zone. The Trojans are not going to give you anything here.
On the way it's trending, you're going to be asking yet again, after a very quick breather, for that Royals defense to stand true like they did for those first 2 quarters.
Yeah, and the good news for the Royal defense is you got beat by a double move. That's okay. You almost classify that as a trick play. You have to reiterate that on the sideline that we are playing really good football. We made one mistake that cost us 7. Let's get back in it.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. The Royals send a man in motion on 3rd and 19 from the 9. Dropping back. Buchanan looks. He's going to get smothered. He was dancing around and didn't see on his blind side the Trojan pressure start to get there. And the Royals will be forced to punt this away as the drive stalls after a drop pass and a back-breaking penalty. They'll be forced to punt it away, and you're really asking Gavin Luthane to get all of this one. He's had a couple of those tonight, but you really need it again right now to not let this be great field position for the Trojans.
Absolutely. Special teams comes in big here. One thing to watch, Jaden Buchanan looked a little slow getting off the field there, and I know how tough of a kid he is.
Zach Gantz awaits. He stands at about the 45-yard line. Luthane gets a high kick that carries to the 50, and it takes a royal bounce. Oh, my goodness. That bounces the 50-yard line and rolls all the way to the Trojan 28. Gavin Luthane delivers again.
Between the field goal earlier in the game, the 74-yard punt he had, and then the punt that was down inside the 1, and now this punt to flip field position, Gavin Luthane is playing a serious role in this game so far, and the Roncalli special teams have to feel good about how they're playing thus far.
4:20 to play, 3rd quarter, 7-3 Trojans. 1st and 10 from their own 28 after the monster punt by Gavin Luthane. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Harrington in the gun. And we've yet to have everybody set and ready to go. And now they'll be set. Play clock will start. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Harrington, play action, feels the pressure, looking, running to the left side, fires over the middle, caught to the 45, all the way near midfield by Sargent.
That's Caleb Sargent.
Pretty good job at the start of the play by the Roncalli defense, especially in the defensive backfield. It's just really tough to stay strong in coverage when the quarterback has that much time. And credit to Jack Harrington. The pocket, he had to stay in the pocket there. He wasn't able to get outside and get as creative as he'd like to be, but he was able to be patient, keep his eyes downfield, and hit that crossing route.
1st and 10 from the 45. A wide receiver to the right, bunch formation to the left near the line. Harrington in the gun, Shaw's the tailback. Snap, handoff, Shaw fakes, drives the legs, picks up 3.
Chatard again getting back to that power running game. Jimmy, we've got a few guesses on the winning streak. A couple from Alan English here. First, he said 17 games from 03-04. That's incorrect. Then he said 22 games from the seasons of 2016, a state championship season, and 2017. Also incorrect. That's the 2nd longest streak. Still waiting on the longest streak, winning streak in Roncalli football history.
We wait with bated breath for the reveal later in the broadcast. Dan Lauk's trivia time. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2nd and 8 from the 47. Screen pass, right side, caught, 50, 45, 40. And that'll be deep into Roncalli territory on the reception by Julio Graves.
And looked like a clear hold down here on the perimeter by the Chatard receiver. And, yeah, we're not having much luck down here with this sideline referee so far tonight with the bad spot earlier in the game and what looked like a clear hold there. But either way, Roncalli defense needs to snap back into this. Chatard's now in their plus territory, got all the momentum in this game. But they're still, outside the 40. If you can come up with a 3-and-out now here, you can, again, keep it a one-possession game.
3:03 to play in this third quarter. 7-3 Trojans at the Roncalli 42. Harrington, play action, looking for a slant. Nothing there. Rolls left, extends the play. Running backwards now, floats it downfield. Diving interception. Is the catch made? No, it's not. Falls to the turf, incomplete. But it is 2nd and 10.
Just a very good job by the Roncalli defense there. The quarterback, Harrington, gets out of the pocket.
I believe it was A.J. Richardson as well that really had that.
And Harrington had room to run. And the Roncalli defenders, you're so tempted at that point to run up there and go get the quarterback. But Harrington was waiting for them to do it and wanted to just drop a pass in once Robert Hauser committed. But both Johnny Jaffe and Hauser did a good job keeping depth and making Harrington, covering that receiver and making Harrington make a tough throw and almost an interception.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. 2nd and 10 from the Roncalli 42 for the Trojans. Harrington, handoff, left side, full burst of speed goes Adams, and he'll cut back inside for a gain of 4. Sets up 3rd and 6 with 2:35 to play here in the third. 7-3 Trojans.
And that was a nice run there by the Trojans. They only pick up a few, but Dom Nelson, it's one of the things as a defensive lineman, and he's a young defensive lineman, got washed all the way across the field there, and that opened that huge cutback lane. Luckily, good team tackling by the Royals at the second level.
3 wide receivers bunched to the right, 1 to the left on this 3rd and 7 from the Roncalli 39 for Bishop Chatard. Harrington, low snap, rolls right, pressure comes, he throws on the run, it's broken up in coverage. The play is made by Brady Tiller, and the Trojans have a decision to make on 4th and 7 in Roncalli territory.
Tremendous play there from Brady Tiller. I don't know that was going to pick up a first down anyways, but it would have put Chatard in a 4th and 2-ish situation. So fantastic job by Tiller there, staying on the upfield shoulder and getting his offhand in there to make the play. Just fantastic technique there.
The Trojans are going to go for it. They smell blood in the water. Royals trying to turn the tide. 4th and 7 from the Roncalli 39. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Harrington, 2-step drop, looking, scrambles right. Delayed pass is dropped, and the Royals force a turnover on downs.
And you could tell, Jimmy, the first read that he wanted to go to was a double move to the boundary. Eli Lauk, learning on the fly, did a great job on that double move, making contact with the receiver and staying on top, taking Harrington's first read away. And a nice job by Will Hegwood, the boundary safety there, helping out as well to make Harrington check it down. Had he even caught that ball, I'm not sure he picks up the first down anyways. Great stand there by the Roncalli defense.
That's Jax Goodry, the sophomore. They brought him in as a change of pace or as a receiving back, perhaps, and he could not corral it. It would have been tight. But whether or not he would have got there is a moot point as the Royals turn him away. And they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 39 with 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Down by 4. Trojans lead 7-3. A wide receiver on either side of Buchanan. Dozier the tailback. They send a man in motion. It's Ash. Buchanan, 2-step drop. Looks, throws in the flat to Ash. It's caught at the 45, stays on his feet to the 50. Spinning, turning to the 45, and he's into Chatard territory with 1:51 to play in the third. And a flag's going to fly
finally.
late.
Our sideline referee wasn't paying any attention to the banter that was going on between Chatard and the Roncalli receiver, and now they're going to throw a flag on it.
They're going to double flag
This is bad. I gotta shut my mouth because this is. I mean, we got head-butted. That's the first flag, and I'm not sure what the second flag comes from.
I don't know if it was words from the Roncalli offensive lineman or what it was, but either way, this is going to turn into offsetting penalties.
Well, and here's the thing. You're the sideline referee. The action's happening right in front of you. The flag on the initial penalty had to come from the referee at the middle of the field. I mean, you can hear the crowd unhappy with the call, and Coach Otley's given an earful to his sideline referee here, and I don't blame him. That's poor officiating.
It never should have escalated to that point. The penalty should have happened initially, and everything should have been shut down.
Honestly, it all could have been stopped. The referee's right there where the players are jawing at each other. There didn't have to be an initial penalty, but he didn't break it up. The flag ends up coming from all the way across the field. It's just inexcusable. We got to do a better job here.
We'll see where things go from here. The Royals will take the gain, but they feel like they could have had penalty yardage as well. 1st and 10 from the Chatard 43, a minute 45 to play in the third. 7-3 Trojans. Buchanan, quick screen, caught. Kessler to the 35. Make that Nelson, I beg your pardon.
Nelson making up for the drops. Unfortunately, he's getting up a little slow here. He looks to be hurt. Hopefully he's okay, but makes up for the drops there by a nice catch and then immediately getting vertical upfield. Nice perimeter blocking there by Rudy Shutley as well.
Well, he has a gain of 9. It's 2nd and 1, and as they attend to the injured Nelson, we will step aside. 91 seconds to play in the third. Trojans 7, Royals 3, but they're driving. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Looking for reliable HVAC professionals? Look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 91 seconds to play in this third quarter as Drew Nelson was able to be helped over to the sideline as he gets attended. Royals, after the 9-yard gain from Nelson, have 2nd and 1 from the Chatard 34. Dan, the way the drive's moving, we mentioned it at the start of the drive, but especially so now, imperative for 6 here for the Royals.
Yeah, I love what they're doing so far. Again, the extension of their run game, getting the ball out quickly to that receiver group that they really like.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. 2nd and 1 from the 34. Buchanan takes the snap, looking, steps up in the pocket, scrambling to his left. Now his right, he's got to make a decision, and he's sacked.
And you can hear the crowd, Jimmy. It looked like Jaden Buchanan got pulled down potentially by his face mask and no flag. It's really tough right now.
Look, I'll be honest, and maybe we look at a replay on that. I thought it was high on the shoulder pad of the jersey.
Yeah, but either way.
We'll take a look at with the TV broadcast potentially. So there's what the tackle's made, and it's on the jersey.
That's a clean tackle.
Yeah.
That's a good no call there.
So
I got to keep my mouth shut now.
So it's 3rd and 9. It's 3rd and 9 for the Royals from the Chatard 42. Bunch formation to the right, 1 to the left. Buchanan in the gun. Adams the tailback. They send a man in motion. Buchanan looks, fires, pass deflected and incomplete. And now the Royals with some decision to make.
Yeah, I really think you need to punt this one away. It's 4th and 9. You're almost at midfield here. You don't have many play calls. I imagine the strategy there was, let's get this ball out quick, try to pick up 5 or 6, and then go for it. They're unable to convert, and they're going to have to punt it away here.
So Luthane, who, Dan, I know we've joked about this in years past, but legitimately tonight, Luthane, one of your considerations for the Golden Pizza Box in terms of the award race. He's has the only points on the board for Roncalli, and he's been sensational in the punt game. They need it again here. Luthane, good snap, gets it away. It's a perfect spiral punt. Bounces at the 10. Oh, and it has a nice backspin on it. Gavin Luthane is incredible tonight. All the way down at the 5.
Inside the 10 again. That's a weapon. Yeah, usually when you give player of the game to the punter, that's not a good sign. But the team's playing well tonight, and he's still in consideration. Jimmy, we do have a correct answer to the trivia.
Oh, let's go.
And it's coming from a Roncalli legend. Kyle Lockard, who was part of this streak, a player part of this streak, a fantastic wide receiver, record-setting wide receiver at Roncalli. The correct answer was 24 straight wins for the Roncalli Royals in the 2020 and 2021 season.
There you
so
go.
2020 ends with a state championship.
Shout out Kyle.
And the 2021 season, unfortunately, ended in the regional round of Mount Vernon.
1st and 10 from the 6. Handoff. Shaw, full head of steam. He'll gain about 5.
So again, the game within the game, Jimmy, we talked about this for the Royal offense, but for the Trojan offense as well. Looks like we're coming up on quarter here, but to be able to pick up a first down here and play field position is what they're trying to do.
That's going to be the final play of the third quarter. 3 quarters down, 1 quarter to go. Do the Royals have a rally within them? Second-ranked Chatard leads 11th-ranked Roncalli 7-3 as we go to the final quarter of play. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
2nd and 4 from the Trojans' own 12-yard line. Start of the fourth quarter. They lead at 7-3. Harrington, handoff. Shaw cuts outside and tackled from behind after a gain of about 2. Make it 3. 3rd and 1 upcoming for the Trojans.
Big 3rd and 1 here. Again, the Trojans are an aggressive team, but very highly unlikely in this tight of a game that they go for it, even if it's 4th and inches with where they are inside their own red zone here.
1 wide receiver on either side. The tailback is Adams. Harrington in the gun, and we lost down a distance for a second here on 3rd and 1. We did not lose the play clock or game clock, though. Harrington in the gun. Handoff. Left side. Now bouncing back out right side is Adams. He has the first down and more all the way to the 25-yard line of Chatard.
Nice little jump cut there by Adams, the running back for the Trojans. The Trojans don't have that marquee running back that you're used to here in the past several years that they've had, but they've been by committee tonight, and it's been effective.
1st and 10 from their own 25. Inside of 11 minutes to play in the ball game. 7-3 Trojans. Harrington changes things at the line. A wide receiver on either side. He'll take the snap, the give. Shaw up the middle, burst of speed. It's Adams, I beg your pardon. And then I'm not going to ring alarm bells just yet because they're on the wrong side of midfield. But if the Trojans are going to be able to chip away with 5- and 8-yard gains like that on a long, methodical drive, this suddenly becomes a real turning point in the ballgame.
Jimmy, I got to be honest, I'm having horrible memories. The Trojans have gotten in their 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. They haven't shown that all year. We had that back in 2019, and I remember just, they go on these long drives, and you can't do anything about it until you get your guys to the sideline. Hopefully we can adjust on the fly.
2nd and 2 from their own 33. Trojans, once again, a handoff. Right side, plenty of blocks, first down, and an extra sprinkle as well, out to the 36. And the Trojans move the chains once again.
So for those of you watching at home, listening at home, what I mean by that is typically Chatard comes out with 4 wide receivers, a 10 personnel set. They've now taken 2 wide receivers out and brought in 2 tight ends. And that creates a lot, several more gaps up on the line of scrimmage and allows your run game to get a little more creative and a little more physical.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Harrington in the gun. Tailback this time is Shaw as they give Adams a breather. Harrington changes things to the line. 1st and 10 from their own 36, 7-3 Trojans, 9:30 to play, 4th quarter. Handoff, Shaw, he's swallowed up after a gain of 3.
A really big push up front by the left side of that Trojan line. They're starting to lean on this Roncalli defensive line a bit. And again,
and Dan, they immediately switch out the backs as well for a more heavy set look.
Absolutely. And the reason you get into this 12 personnel set a lot of times is because you see, okay, Roncalli's had a lot of success playing against us on the perimeter, but they're not subbing out, right? So Chatard gets into this big package where they bring in 2 big bodies and tight ends. Roncalli's still got the same defensive players out there. I'm sure Chatard feels like they have a physical advantage right now.
Harrington in the gun, Adams the tailback. 2nd and 7 from their own 39. Play action. Harrington throws, caught in the flat by Swickheimer. He has the first down and a little more as they approach midfield with 8:45 to play in the ball game and a 7-3 advantage for the Trojans. You mentioned it, Dan. You get flashbacks to a lot of moments in this Chatard-Roncalli rivalry where the team that could win in the trenches and dominate and push the piles and push the line ultimately would do enough to win these games. Royals defense got to lock in.
No doubt.
Harrington once again in the gun. 3 wide receivers to the right and none to the left. The tailback is Adams. First and 10 from the 47. Delayed handoff. Adams lowers the boomstick, and he'll gain 3. 2nd and 7 upcoming.
So when they hired Rob Doyle 8 years ago, he really brought more of a modern offensive scheme versus the Vince Lorenzano, ground and pound, Bruce Cyphers type offense that the Trojans are known for. But this right here is throwback Chatard. 2 tight ends, power football. They're having a lot of success so far on this drive. And one of the things, so I go back to the personnel piece. Sometimes you want to sub out, sub in a linebacker, take a safety out here.
2nd and 7 from midfield.
Because otherwise you've got guys like A.J. Richardson, a safety, who has to come up and play essentially an outside linebacker
Timeout
spot.
Trojans will take one with them. 7:39 to play in the 4th. They're driving. They lead at 7-3 over your Royals. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Back at Bob Tully Field, out of the Trojans timeout with Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Tonight's game brought to you by Peterman Brothers. Peterman Brothers stands as one of the Midwest's leading family-owned providers of residential plumbing, heating, and air conditioning and electrical services with over 500 team members across 10 locations in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. Trust us to handle all your home service needs with the highest level of care and professionalism because family is our foundational value. Head to petermanhvac.com to book your next appointment. 2nd and 7 from midfield for the Trojans. Harrington hands it off to Shaw. Right side, burst of speed, has the first down and more, all the way out to the 42-yard line. And the Trojans continue this methodical drive down the field with a 4-point lead in pocket.
Yeah, good penetration by the Roncalli defensive line there, but the Trojans are really feeling their power run game here. And, they come out the first 2 games of the year throwing the ball all over the place. I'm sure the old-school Chatard fans are loving this.
Harrington in the shotgun. Shaw is his tailback. 3 wide receivers to the left. Now he changes things to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 42. 7:15 to play in this ball game. A potential sectional 22 preview here. Handoff, Shaw, and he is twisted and turned for a gain of 3.
The Royals are going to have to find a way to cause some negative plays here because 3 yards in a cloud of dust on first down is exactly what Chatard wants. And you look at the clock here, Jimmy, we're now under 7 minutes.
Yep.
Chatard is executing perfectly right now. This is exactly what they want to do. Bleed this clock as much as they can, put some points up on the board. If it's a touchdown, this game's essentially over.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. If you're the Royals, you're hoping for a punch-out, maybe a turnover here to try to reverse the momentum the Trojans have. The tailback is Adams to the left hip of Harrington. 2nd and 7 from the Roncalli 39. Looks right, looks left. Pump fakes, pressure coming. Harrington rolls, throws near the sticks, throws it out of bounds and away. Safe play there on 2nd and 7. Looked like they were trying to take a shot. Good defense by the Royals. Third down.
Rob Doyle is a fantastic coach. I have no idea what he's doing getting out of his 12 personnel set there. They get back to 4 wide receivers, decide to throw the ball, which they've had very little success outside of a double move on Roncalli. You're running all over him. Why switch it up there?
Dan,
That really confuses me.
I have 2 ideas on it. The first would be that take a shot and maybe put the game away here. The second would be your mindset is it's 4 down territory. We just head back to the personnel and go heavy set to pick it up and continue to ice this game away. But I'm with you. I would have kept running it. Handoff, right side. It's a gain of 4. A heavy tackle throws down Adams. That was a great tackle in space by Eli Lauk, I believe, was the role to make the play. And now it's 4th and 2. And if I'm the Trojans, based on what I outlined there, Dan, I'm going for it.
Yeah, they absolutely will here. The thing that is stunning to me, though, is they could have picked up. Roncalli hasn't stopped them from running for 3 yards on this drive. They'd be in a first down now instead of a 4th down situation here.
So
we'll take it, though.
4th and 3 from the Roncalli 35. Harrington, handoff, full head of steam. Let's see where the spot is. It's past the sticks. To move the chains, and the first down belongs to Daniel Adams. And the clock is a true enemy of the Royals now. First down at the Roncalli 31, and the clock rolls again. 5:35 to play, 7-3 Trojans. The tailback is Adams. Harrington in the gun, a wide receiver on either side. And a flag will go against the Trojans. Perhaps illegal formation.
Looked like he signaled offside, which is not normally a call you see on the offense, but it's possible.
The wideout wasn't set.
Yeah, or possibly they had an offensive lineman up too far. The opposite of what we saw last night in the NFL game, Jimmy.
Ronnie Stanley.
Yeah.
It was Jawan Taylor a year ago. That's why I don't feel bad about it. That's the second opener in a row that the officials have chosen to single out a poor offensive lineman and just bury him. Benefited the Chiefs last night. Resident Chiefs fan here, for those that don't know. Back to live action. 1st and 15 for the Trojans. Ball on the Roncalli 35. 5:10 to play in this ball game. 7-3 Trojans. Handoff to Adams. Left side, and he'll gain most of that penalty yardage back. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Really nice tackle there by the linebacker, Johnny Jaffe. It looked like had he not made that tackle, that run was off to the races. Behind the sticks now on 2nd and long, so I wouldn't blame Chatard for getting back into their 10 personnel set here if they wanted to. It looks like they're going to stay big still, which...
I mean, Dan, I'm with you. I would keep big lineup the entire time, but it's always 4 down territory.
Sure.
Because your defense has played lights out. Give yourself 4 chances to ice this thing further. If the Royals just get a stop, 2nd and 11 from the 32. Handoff, left side, great tackle in space by the Royals. Daniel Adams make that. Daniel Shaw had nowhere to go. A duo of Royals there on the tackle.
Yeah, nice job by Brody Heidelberger coming from his linebacker position. Some great penetration there by Nathan Turner. Right off the snap, this Chatard center is not able to get hands on him. Nice little swim move to cause a disruption there in the backfield.
Do you throw if you're the Trojans here? Or do you keep the running game and then see if you can get 4th and medium, 4th and short?
No, because I think you're out of field goal range here. I think you throw, maybe it's something high percentage.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3rd and 10. Harrington rolls right. Pressure comes. Throws end zone. Has a man wide open. He dropped it. Oh, my word. Busted coverage. Julio Graves all alone at the 4. And he heard a turf monster or two. The Royals with a heavy sigh of relief there. That was a dagger.
Similar to what we saw earlier on the Roncalli side. Just receiver was too open and couldn't pull that in. That would have iced the game. Now what do you do if you're the Trojans? It's 4th and 10. You're really not in field goal range, but you also don't really want to punt from your own 31. Or from Roncalli's 31.
We'll borrow the Chiefs-Ravens thing again from last night. Andy Reid punted at the 40 last night for like 20 yards of field position. That's all it was worth. Yeah. I'd rather you go for it there. If I'm a fan of the Trojans, I'm saying go for it here. It looks like they will, but they're going to call a timeout to think about it. We'll take a break as well. 3:42 to play in the 4th. This very well could be a play that decides the ball game. 4th and 10, we come back. Trojans 7, Royals 3 on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's. going to be
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing as low as 2.99% APR. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
Back at Bob Tully Field, 4th and 10 for the Trojans. This could very well be the ball game. They have it at the Roncalli 31. They lead it 7-3 with 3:42 to play in the ball game. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Harrington takes the snap, 3-step drop. He looks, pressure comes, he backs up, he throws the jump pass. It is caught for the first down. A massive play by Harrington. He paid the price, but he hooks up with Daniel Adams on a prayer, and it's 1st and 10, Trojans from the 20, and that may very well put this one in the cooler.
You know, I talked about his family, the Harrington kid, some tough boys here at Roncalli, and unfortunately this one's up in Chatard. That's a tough, gritty play by Chatard's quarterback there.
And now you go back to heavy set. Harrington in the gun. The Royals, this one's not in the cooler just yet, but it's a precarious situation right now. Handoff, right side, Adams, he'll gain 2. At what point, Dan, are you starting to utilize some of those Roncalli timeouts? More manageable with the timeouts in this half. I believe still have all 3 to work with.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start using them here pretty soon. I'd say after this play, you expect Chatard to run it. You know, going back to that 4th and long, Jimmy, we decided not to pressure, which I'm okay with. We sat back in coverage, but just weren't able to get enough pressure from the defensive line.
Harrington in the gun, 2nd and 7. Looks to the sideline. Adams is his tailback. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Adams switches to his left hip. 2nd and 7 for the Roncalli 16. Give. Harrington keeps it. Right side. Tries to do a stutter step, and he swung down about a yard short of the first down. Ball came out late. Let's see. Royals have the football. Oh, my. Roncalli with the strip, the miracle they needed. A lifeline to the Royals with 2:18 to play in this ball game.
And a mistake there from Jack Harrington. I'm sure the Chatard coaching staff is arguing that he was down before that ball came out. We'll see here on the replay. It looked like he might have been on top of a Roncalli defender when the ball came out. I mean, just a fantastic job by making that tackle in the first place, but then, you know, he's still up there. That's a fumble. That's a good call. He rolled over the Roncalli defender there. Good call by that referee on the far sideline.
I believe it was Alex Winchester that makes the recovery. At least that's our indication stats-wise. But either way, the Royals a lifeline. Can they make the most of it? 1st and 10 from their own 9. Buchanan, 2-step drop. Screen pass right side, caught by Dozier to the 10. Bounces outside to the 12, and he'll be kept in bounds. Oh, my. Looked like he went out on his own accord. They'll say no, and the clock will roll. 2:03 to play.
Yeah, I thought he got out of bounds as well, but once again.
It's a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 from the Roncalli 13. Trojans 7, Royals 3. Buchanan in the gun. Trojans show pressure. Now they drop it back. Buchanan smothered. Has to get rid of it. And he's tackled at, let's see, the 1, or is it a safety? He's at the 1. So Buchanan, a fool me once situation there where he came close to being sacked and giving up on a play earlier. That time, the Trojans bring delayed pressure, and glass half full. It wasn't a safety, but it's a big loss on the play of 11, and now it's 3rd and forever with 97 seconds to play.
Yeah, really tough there. Not much you can do here. You got to, figure out what you got. Going back to the Coach Cyphers days and his red notebook, his red binder where all his win-the-game trick plays are. 3rd and 17, obviously, you have 2 downs to get it here. So, a crossing route, a screen, something like that where you may not get it all right here, but you get some of it back to give yourself a shot is probably what we're going to see here. Still plenty of time on the clock with still having some timeouts, but you got to get at least half of it back here to legitimately have a shot.
97 seconds to play. The last 3 meetings in this series have come down to 1-possession ball games. This is where we're at right now. 3rd and 17 from their own 2. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Buchanan in the gun. Adams the tailback. He takes the snap, looks, fires, downfield, collision, no flag, 4th down.
Yeah, I like the no call there. The Chatard defender was in good position on top of the route. I don't love the play call. You're not going to get it all back in one throw like that.
Well, now that has to be your play call on this play.
And it's going to be really difficult to do that. I think Chatard was going to be willing to give you something underneath, and then it makes it a little easier to pick up this first down. Now it's going to be tough.
Now you're going to need some Buchanan magic. 4th and 17 from Roncalli's 2. 91 seconds to play. Trojans 7, Royals 3. This is the ball game.
And the Royals are going to intentionally take a safety here. I saw the coaches signaling for that on the sideline. The problem is, you have to kick it off to Chatard now. So you got to hope for an onside kick here. I don't completely hate the call, but an interesting one nonetheless.
It's a slightly unorthodox, but it's at your cards, right?
Well, you think about it. You punt from your 1-yard line. Best case scenario, Chatard has it already in plus field position. And your chances of forcing a turnover with their offense on the field running the ball and willing to just bleed the clock out are slim. Whereas now you still have possession of the ball and can potentially execute an onside kick. That's what they're going to have to do here.
Sure.
And I like that. It's good, quick thinking by the coaching staff to say, hey, what's our best chance at getting the ball back here? You're not going to pick up that 4th and 17 from the 1-yard line. Your best chance is to give up the points, keep this a 1-possession game, see if you can execute an onside kick here.
So the Royals have had plenty of magical moments from Gavin Luthane tonight. We half joked about him being in the running for the Golden Pizza box, I beg your pardon, presented by Gallagher's. He's able to execute a successful onside kick here. You're really solidifying a conversation there. But that's what the Royals will need. They'll go from the 20. Luthane looking for a little magic. Takes a bounce, up for grabs, Trojans have it. Trojans football at the 31-yard line of Roncalli with 1:28 to go. Royals do have all their timeouts, but you're in desperation territory here.
And if you're sitting at home and still wondering why we took the safety, this is where Chatard would have ended up with the ball had we punted, right? So,
look, I will say, I'll slightly fight you on. I'm not going to argue the decision, but I'll slightly fight you on that just because Luthane. I mean,
sure,
he has an exceptional leg tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's much better, Dan, but
yeah.
I mean, at this stage, there's a lot working against you anyway.
They're getting the ball back, and they're
You're
going to run
picking a
it,
poison.
right?
You're picking a poison at that stage.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 31. Handoff. Up the right side to Shaw. Timeout Royals. And correction, the Royals, if I'm not mistaken, Dan, correct me on this, they're down to 1 timeout now because they did use one on that last offensive drive.
Yeah, so, doing the math here, Chatard really only has to run this ball 2 more times and should be able to run out the clock. But we saw what happened last time. Chatard had the football.
Sure.
Roncalli got that lifeline they needed. I'm sure Jack Harrington is not going to go anywhere near, getting tackled physically like that with the ball hanging out. They're not going to fumble the football twice. But either way, if you're the Roncalli defense, that's what you're being told right now. It's not good form tackling anymore. It's find a way to stand up the runner. We always used to do this drill. If you're the first guy in, this is just a special drill for these types of situations. First guy in, you stand them up like a form tackle, just like you do without pads on, where you're just practicing your form tackle. Second guy in, come in there and try to punch it out. So you want to try to keep that runner up. and see if you can make something special happen.
It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 25 for the Trojans. Harrington in the gun. Shaw, the tailback. Handoff up the middle. Shaw contorts his body, navigates through, has the first down, and that'll be the ball game.
That was Shaw on the carry.
You know, you don't take.
Brought down by a host of Royals, number 6, Brody Heidelberg.
You don't walk out of this feeling good, Jimmy, because this is your rival. It's the North versus the South side, and you never want to lose to Chatard. But 3 weeks from now, you can look back at this game and feel good about the way you played against a really high-quality opponent. And hopefully, Jimmy, we see him again.
Yeah.
We
mentioned a sectional 2022 preview, or a sectional 22, I beg your pardon, preview.
Which our sectional has taken a real step up in competition.
It is a gauntlet for certain. There's not many easy matchups left on that. But for the second consecutive year, the Trojans of Bishop Chatard put a W on their side of the ledger in this series.
You know, and a few points throughout the game where you're going to be kicking yourself if you're Roncalli. The drop touchdown earlier in the game. You know, a few penalties here and there that cost you. You just weren't able to. I didn't think they played bad offensively, but obviously when you only score 3 points, you're not playing great either. So they got to find a way to finish drives and find a way to punch it in the end zone to be able to beat teams like Chatard.
We're going to make a modification on the fly. This for those back in the production truck. We're going to expand this break. We're going to step out for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. When we come back, we will have the Indy Teledata postgame show. We also hand out the Gallagher's Player of the Game and look ahead to next week's road trip to Columbus North. The Trojans win their second straight in this storied rivalry. They take the 65th meeting of Roncalli Bishop Chatard. 9-3 your final. We'll step aside, be back. Indy Teledata postgame show around the corner. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Buying or selling land? Maybe a hunting paradise, some productive farmland, or a cozy home with some elbow room? Then look no further than Bill and Jay Miner, your Whitetail Properties land specialists. These Roncalli alums know West Central and South Central Indiana like the back of their hands. Don't wait. Call Bill and Jay today at 317-446-9500 or at 317-370-2422 or visit their agent profiles at whitetailproperties.com.
Gallagher's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field at Roncalli Stadium. Bishop Chatard, the second-ranked team in the land of 4A, victorious tonight over your 11th-ranked Royals. 9-3 the final. Let's take a look at the full game scoring summary for the Royals. They got on the board first. A 32-yard field goal by Gavin Luthane. Had a deep crossing route opportunity that was dropped by Drew Nelson in what looked like perhaps a nice dissection opportunity for the Royals from an offensive standpoint, but they're forced to settle for 3 there. They do draw first blood, and throughout that first half, just exceptional, truly exceptional defense by Roncalli to hold one of the highest octane offense in the state. Big old goose egg in that first half.
Yeah, you're going to feel really happy tomorrow morning if you're Roncalli's defense and the defensive staff with the way your defense played. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if you would have come in tonight saying Chatard's only going to score 9 points, I think you'd sign up for that every day of the week. This is a high-powered offense, as you said, Jimmy. So it's really a nice performance from the Roncalli defense. They were opportunistic. They made big plays when they needed to. They really slowed down a talented quarterback in Jack Harrington. But that Jack Harrington, the same player I just mentioned, ended up making the big play at the end of the game to ice it.
The Trojans would finally get in the box score in the third quarter. A 7-play, 72-yard touchdown drive. Took 2:27 off the clock, capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run by Shaw, and that's really all set up by a double move that the Royals had gotten away with once, but the second time it bit them.
Yeah, and, to Eli Lauk's credit, he did bite on it the first time, and look, it's going to happen it's going to happen to professionals, right? There's nobody. If you're playing cornerback, the cornerback position on defense, you got to have a short memory because you are going to get beat at some point, and he did. But to his credit, the next time they ran that, he did a great job learning on the fly, and that's what I love about this program and what I've seen through these first 3 games is their ability to grow and not focus on the scoreboard, even though it's been close every game, but just really focus on progress and learning on the sidelines and learning on the fly. If they continue to do that, and we see the same team in the sectionals in October, I really like our chances.
Long, methodical drive by the Trojans late in the fourth quarter. It looks like they're going to ice the game away, but Jack Harrington, the quarterback for the Trojans, tried to extend a play, stay on his feet, roll off a defender, and he has the ball poked away. It's recovered by Alex Winchester. You think twist of fate. Royals maybe rewriting the script in this one. This is the weirder, though, end of this game. 4 plays, -9 yards is the scoring drive because it's a 2-yard loss and a Buchanan safety. Royals wind up getting sacked deep in their own territory. They're left with a bunch of vials of poison to try to drink to maybe keep the game alive. They choose safety and an onside kick. They failed to recover the onside kick. The safety made it 9-3, and the Trojans would eventually pound this game away on the ground before victory formation, extending the streak of 4 straight now meetings in this rivalry that have been decided by 1 possession, but they win it 9-3, your final.
Yeah, just a really good game on both sides of the ball. And you look at the score 9-3 and think, yeah, that had to be ugly if you didn't watch it. But, looking at the statistics, 4 penalties in total between Roncalli and Chatard there in the second half. So it's not like it was a mistake-ridden game where both teams were really sloppy. Both teams executed at a high level. What it ended up just being was a true defensive battle, and Chatard made the big plays when it needed to happen, and they were the ones to come out victorious tonight. But don't be surprised if the script flips in sectional time.
We'll step aside for the final time on the Indy Teledata postgame show. We come back. Dan will hand out the golden pizza box for the Gallagher's Player of the Game. Again, our final score, second-ranked Bishop Chatard 9, 11th-ranked Roncalli 3. Back to wrap things up after this. You're listening to Roncalli Royals Football on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Don't sweat the summer heat any longer.
Let Peterman handle it.
Right now is the best time to replace or upgrade because when you install a qualifying heating and cooling system with Peterman, you get the AC for free.
This is a deal that can keep everyone cool.
And we'll install next day guaranteed or we'll give you $500.
Don't wait. When summer ends, so does this deal.
Just visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Have you had your eye appointment this year? No? Well, it's time to make that appointment. Call Vision Quest Eye Care with location in Greenwood. Dr. Christopher Browning is a Greenwood native and Roncalli parent. Dr. Browning has years of experience and can make sure your Vision Quest Eye Care appointment leaves you seeing the world clearer. Call today, 317-386-7492. Yes, call Dr. Browning at Vision Quest Eye Care at 317-386-7492 or online at visionquesteyecare.com.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Discover the Coin Index in Greenwood. Have you inherited a coin collection you aren't sure what to do with? Are you interested in investing in precious metals? Then the Coin Index is your ultimate destination for coins and precious metals. We buy, sell, and appraise. Located at 857 North Madison Avenue, just south of the Greenwood Park Mall. For expert service and top-notch selection, visit us at coinindex.com. The Coin Index, your trusted partner in coins and precious metals.
In every game, there's one player who stands above the rest. One who makes the impossible possible. Gallagher's is proud to celebrate that player, the standout star who took the game to the next level. And who better to honor this exceptional athlete than Gallagher's, where every game day is a victory. Enjoy delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages while cheering on your favorite team. Congratulations to this week's Roncalli Royals Player of the Game. Celebrate with friends and family at Gallagher's, where every meal is as outstanding as the game-time performance. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. It's time to recognize the Gallagher's Player of the Game.
Gallagher's player of the game. Tonight our team worked together, but there was one player, one standout student athlete. And who better to celebrate this exceptional player than Gallagher's, where every game day is a win. Head over after tonight's game for some delicious pizza. Oh, Dan, you know I'm going to be over there.
The call has been made.
The call has been made. We're ready to pick up a nice pizza from Gallagher's, but they also have fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages with all of your best friends. Tonight's player of the game goes to...
Yeah, a little unorthodox tonight, but well-deserved. Before I get to it, Jimmy, just a little cliffhanger there. A few honorable mentions. I think Brody Heidelberger, I've mentioned his name a lot, ends up tonight with 12 tackles, half a sack, half a tackle for loss. And then the sophomore, Will Hegwood, on defense as well, ends up with 10 tackles. So really the entire defensive side of the ball deserves a shout. But the player of the game tonight is Gavin Luthane, the punter and kicker for the Royals. 2 yards short of a school record for a punt.
Man.
Had he not run out of room, he would have broken that record. So a 72-yard punt to his name. Also had a punt down inside the 1-yard line. Also had another punt down inside the 10. And then on top of that, he's the only one to put points on the board for the Royals tonight with his 32-yard field goal. Gavin Luthane, heck of a game, young man.
Congrats to Gavin Luthane, this week's Roncalli Royals player of the game. Join the celebration with friends and family at Gallagher's, where every meal matches the excitement of the game. Give a big round of applause one more time to Gavin Luthane, the Gallagher's player of the game. Well, up next for the Royals, they will head up to Columbus North, take on the Bulldogs, a Class 6A matchup that Friday night at 7 o'clock, as the Royals now sit 1-1 on the year. Final thoughts on this one and a look ahead to another tough test for the Royals when they make that trip to Columbus North.
Yeah, a lot to build off tonight. Again, though, I think the positives, the silver lining is you played a clean game of football. You didn't turn the ball over. You limited penalties. You just got to find ways to put the ball in the end zone and get a little more creative to be able to do that. Chatard did a great job defensively, limiting Jaden Buchanan's big play ability. And then defensively, obviously, we've talked about it a lot. A lot to really like about this Roncalli defense. Scott Hauser and staff have done a fantastic job, and it should continue to, defense travels, Jimmy. So going down to Columbus next week, no doubt our defense will show up. Just need the offense to work a little wrinkles out and see if we can put some points on the board.
And much like we've said a little bit about Notre Dame, much like the Ravens are telling themselves after the loss to the Chiefs last night, early in the season, your defense is solid. Just got to work on a couple things offensively and fine-tune that as the season goes along. Well, that'll about do it for this week's edition of Roncalli Royals football. The executive directors of the Roncalli Media Network, Therese Carson, video operations director, the talented AJ Ablong. Shout out to his student crew, doing a wonderful job. These back-to-back home games, getting all the shots and angles for us throughout the night and keeping us afloat throughout the proceedings. My broadcast partner, the always incomparable Dan Lauk, and of course, I'm Jimmy Cook. One programming note, and I will keep this short and brief, but in case it has not trickled through the Roncalli grapevine yet, I was not here last week because my wife Haley Cook and I welcomed our first son, Chance Lee Cook, into the world last Friday night around 6:30, and we are very happy, very ecstatic. We appreciate all the well wishes and congratulations our way. So there will be moments, though, through this where I am going to take a little bit of time off during the season, but we have a hearty crew, led, of course, by my partner Dan Lauk, for when that time arrives. It very well might be this Friday, so I might not be the voice that you hear Friday night at Columbus North, but it'll only be a 2-game span. It turned into 3 because shout out to Rob Brown helping out in my stead. It just caught us totally by surprise last Friday. Dan, you know how that goes. That's often just child deliveries. They come out of nowhere, and thankfully for our entire staff and crew, AJ and Therese Carson especially, and Rob Brown for navigating through with me last week. So I will likely miss some time here, but it's the mid-portion of the season. Much like the Royals, I'll do my best to try to get better as a broadcaster, and hopefully by the time we get to the stretch run of the season, both myself and the Roncalli offense are tearing
Love
through the back half of the schedule.
Love the comparison, and congratulations
Thank you,
to
Dan.
you and your
Thank
wife,
you very
Haley.
much. Oh, AJ, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're a fantastic broadcaster, but you'll be an even better dad.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
And that's the
That's
most
very kind
important
of you.
job you'll ever have. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And again, appreciate all the Roncalli community with all the thanks. And a special shout out to my wife, Haley. She is a trooper and is going to be a wonderful mom. But again, might be off the air the next 2 games or so, but rest assured the Roncalli Media Network is in good hands, especially when Dan Lauk is on the big chair, and he will be right there next Friday night from Columbus North. But again, Dan Lauk to my right, I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals fall tonight to second-ranked Bishop Chatard. The Trojans win it 9-3, and will look to bounce back next week at Columbus North. Until we talk to you then, so long, everybody.